Hello and welcome to the fourth and final stage of the Colorado Classic presented by the VF Corporation. We are in Denver today for the circuit. 8 laps. It should be a day for the sprinters. Hannah Walker is with me again. Hannah, I think really we should just say welcome to the Chloe Dygert show, really, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we might as well just stop there. And, can she make it 4-4 today on the final stage? It's definitely a potential. She's got a good sprint on her. She can go long. But can anyone challenge her? Maybe Wyzak or someone of the like.
Yeah, yesterday coming into that Queen of the Mountains point and went for the sprint. Little nonchalant look back over the shoulder and, coming into the finish again. It looked like they were on her at one point, and you could see that she was really, really on her limit. But again, we love it when we see someone going out there and riding like that. But it's, it was something to behold. It really was.
Yeah, it was actually such an incredible effort. She just made it look seamless, effortless. The way she attacked, took the KOM points, took a look behind her like she was actually. I thought actually she was going to take the points and then sit up and wait for the peloton. Then she just carried on, and next minute, before we knew it, she opened up a 30-second gap. Coming into that finish, it really was touch and go, and I think you could tell for the first time of these 3 stages so far that actually she was tiring, and then I think she just got a second wind. The peloton actually thought, oh, we've got her, we can kind of ease up a little bit going into this finish and catch her with, maybe 1k to go, but she just rode away, got that second wind, and another solo victory.
Okay, unlike yesterday, we're told it should be a day for the sprinters today. Let's have a look ahead at the circuit and we can get to live pictures. The Denver circuit, 8 laps of the 10.6 kilometre circuit. Through the park, back in and into onto this. So it's a fast circuit. The profile does look up and down. The little rises that we've got apparently are not quite as tough as they look. We've got 3 intermediate sprints within the race, 4 laps to go. And interestingly, you'll see during the coverage, it will come up and it will see as it does text to contribute to the Preem. If you're new to cycling, a Preem is a sprint for a cash bonus. In Avon, they were sprinting for $10,000. Today, Meredith Miller, who's one of the commentators over in the US with Brad Sona, she tells us before we go live, they're already up to $7,200.
Not a bad day out in the office, is it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're coming into that sort of cash prize as well as a team, that's worth getting everyone on the front for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw yesterday how much, Canyon Schramm going for it with Tiff Cromwell doing a huge lead out for Tanya Erath. Erath took the bonus and, walked away, I think it was 5k yesterday. So definitely, it's something worth going for and accumulative over the days if you cash in. Brilliant. I think they're going for a bonus today, like a record amount. I think
we're hearing that coming into this one that the most they'd seen in world cycling, and again, if you're out there and you can correct us if they're wrong on that one and we're wrong on that, was about 10,000. So they've been looking to try and set a new record for that. I just want to talk before we go to live pictures a little bit about some of the domestic teams. And yesterday, Fearless Femme, Rachel Langdon again on the attack. Beck Wyzak as well was on the offensive. The DNA team, Lux. Some of these domestic teams, they really have put on a show for us because we're seeing a lot of them for the first time.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of them, it's fair to say, they've actually overperformed. I mean, the way they're racing, it's like they've been racing in UCI races for many years, and some of them, are actually quite new to cycling. They've only been racing for 2, 3, 4 years. But the experience that they're showing and the way they're racing is incredible. And the way that Fearless Femme raced yesterday, as you said, Rachel Langdon and Rebecca Wyzak, before taking 3rd place on the stage, Rebecca Wyzak was out for 2 laps in a breakaway. And I think it's great to see that they're not afraid of the likes of Canyon Schramm and Show Air 2020, who are so experienced. Also, with B-Pink as well, that they're not afraid to take it to them.
Because Rachel Langdon, we came into this one again. She's down. She's a British rider. So, she comes from, we like to, for British fans, picking out some of the British riders. We've got Emma Grant in there as well for Show Air 2020. But Rachel Langdon, and again, she came in, it wasn't a name that I'd seen before, and that's no disrespect to her. So I did a little bit more digging around, and she actually originally went to the US on a soccer scholarship, on a football scholarship. Yeah. Someone said she went out for a ride, clearly probably at college with someone who said you should race, and now she's here. She's racing it, not just racing in, she's actually out there, she's up there, she's competing. Yeah. And again, in quite a few short years.
I love the crossover when, people come in from other sports, whether it be triathlon or tennis, or we had water polo, what we saw a rider do before, so it's so interesting.
And Chloe Dygert as well, reading on the Show Air 2020 team website, she discovered cycling because her dad got her a bike when she was trying to heal injuries from basketball as well.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant in the way that people come into this sport, having already performed at a high level in another sport. So, and I think you bring that discipline over as well, being an athlete, and the dedication and the commitment it takes. Still all the same no matter what sport you do.
And there she is on the front, and she's wearing the badass jersey again. I have apologised for the last 4 stages with my English accent. I don't know if I'm getting away with that one, but the badass jersey, the VF Corporation jersey. Late Rachel Langdon wearing that one again. Yesterday, just bring up to speed with your other jerseys and who's wearing what. The Audi Most Inspirational Rider jersey yesterday went to Aisha McGowan. So she's wearing that light blue jersey today. Chloe Dygert leading overall by 1 minute and 36 seconds from Brodie Chapman. Omar Shapira is third at 1:53. Then comes Ella Harris at 2:24. Krista Dobell-Hickok at 2:25. We then have Lauren Stevens at 2:51 with Flavia Oliveira. They're 6th and 7th. Katie Hall 8th at 2:52. Talking about inspirational riders, Edwig Patel is in there at 3:11 in 9th, the French rider, and Whitney Allison, who's had a great race for Hagen's Berman Supermint at 3:39 in 10th. Chloe Dygert leads in the sprints classification. There you go. If you do want to contribute to the prize purse, there's your number on your screen now. Chloe Dygert in the sprints classification, 45 points in that classification ahead of Brodie Chapman, who has 30 points. Jennifer Valenti third with 23. In the Queen of the Mountains, Chloe Dygert leading in the Queen of the Mountains with 23. Brodie Chapman second with 15 points. Edwig Patel up there in third with 14. In the Best Young Riders classification, Chloe Dygert leading in the Best Young Riders classification ahead of Omar Shapira and Ella Harris. And in the team classification, it's Canyon Schramm ahead of Show Air 2020 and Co-Gas Mettler, though 6:01 between Canyon and Show Air 2020. So that's the way things are. You saw the weather at the beginning there, 91 to 94 degrees Fahrenheit. They're saying about 36 degrees Celsius. Meredith Miller was telling me before the start as well. There's your course. So as we said, it looks a little bit more rolling, as you can see. Total elevation gained 410 meters. Those intermediate sprints, the big prize one is on the second one there at 42.4 kilometers covered. Expectations today, yesterday on again a circuit fairly similar to this one, but there was attack after attack after attack after attack, and it was really only in the latter stages Valsecchi and Wyzak that got away. It could be a similar pattern today.
Yeah, it's not such a technical circuit today, and I think we'll see much of the expected wide roads that American racing lends itself to. But yesterday, even from the gun, it was just attack after attack after attack, and the peloton never had a moment to breathe or even sort of take any energy or fuel on board, and it was a very, very exciting race. It was just action non-stop. But I think today maybe teams might play it a bit more cagey, to be honest. With it being the last day that actually anyone can move up on the general classification, it's the last chance for a stage victory. So we might see it a little bit more controlled today, and especially because although the profile looks like it's very lumpy, in actual fact, it's not too bad in comparison to what yesterday was. Yeah,
so on the opening lap. So don't forget, get involved over on the YouTube chats on GCN Racing, also on GCN Racing on Facebook. If you're over there, you can get involved in the chat if you want to say hi to either Hannah or myself. We will take your questions on there. Fearless Femme and Hagen's Bourbon Supermint straight on the attack here on the opening lap in Denver. So good to see some early attacks here, just going in on this one around the city streets of Denver. And B Pink trying to get up to them. Olivia Barrel, I think, is the Fearless Femme rider. There it is. Just confirmation of that.
This is quite a similar situation to what we saw yesterday, where riders would attack, and you'd find, a couple of riders off the front, but it'd be soon shut down. That the peloton weren't happy at with the composition in that breakaway, and it was soon all back together. But it wasn't long yesterday, before we had another counter attack. But peloton just always wanting to keep things together. Fearless Femme, as ever, very, very active. Definitely the team of the race for me, actually. The way they've ridden these past 3 days.
So again, the first little attacks going in. Just to bring up to speed with some DNFs from yesterday. So Samantha Runnels of the USA national team and Emily Marcolini. If you were with us yesterday, you will remember that front wheel puncture for Samantha Runnels yesterday, and Emily Marcolini trying to chase to get back in. They didn't finish yesterday. We also had Vanya Campbelli from B Pink and Isabella Berthold didn't finish yesterday. So a few of you were just saying hi over on YouTube. Laura Vance checking in a little bit earlier. Theramon has been there since the end of the Tour of Norway. Been waiting a while. Dmitry Bushev just saying hi. Is it a 4-day event like the Tour of Norway? Yes, it is. We are live on this one. It's a little bit later today. Udaya Pereira checking in from Qatar. Nice to hear from you in Qatar, somewhere I know well. Been there many, many times. And it's Swiss Moab checking in from Moab as well. Thanks for saying hi. Trad Biner in Denver. Thanks for saying hi in Denver. Great to hear from you. Santiago Benitez checking in. So thanks for saying hi. And also a few of you, MB Protocol. Put your name and where. Remember, don't forget, just add your little. If you want to early on, I'll do my best to try and remember your names. So if you've got your little usernames that you have, just pop your name and where you're from. We can give you a proper hi. Trad Biner is saying gusty winds downtown as well. Arthur Goseby, thanks for checking in. Andrea Koritsky is also on board.
Hello back,
question.
Trad. Saying hello, Martin. Hello back. Lovely to have you all involved.
It is Andrea Koritsky just checking in. Marty and Hannah, do we think with such a dominance on the part of Chloe Dygert, it will wake up the likes of Team Ineos to start a women's team? That's $1 million question, isn't it?
It is. Personally, if I'm going to be honest, no, I don't think it will. Equally, I think, Chloe's got great support from Show Air 2020 for all her ambitions on the road, on the track. And she's been with that team since she was, I think, 16 or 17 years old. So I think, for her, I think with her results and her previous results and what her ambitions are going into the future, I think she could be snapped up by some of the bigger teams, the women's teams, if she wanted to. I think Show Air 2020, they're so keen in supporting her on anything she wants to do with her track and road ambition. She wants to, I know she's verbally said that she wants to be, world champion in the individual time trial. She wants to win as many Olympic gold medals as she can. She wants to go for the next 6 Olympics. And I think Show Air 2020 and her manager, Nicola Cranmer, very, very keen on supporting her in that. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think it's going to make Ineos have a women's team. But I think, in saying that, we've got some great women's teams around. When you just take a look, you've got Bowles, Trek Segafredo, Canyon SRAM, all brilliantly supported teams.
Rachel Langdon in that black jersey off the front. Again, that's a good move by Rachel Langdon. She had a good year, actually. I was just checking out, managed to find some of her domestic results this year. There's certain resources that we use in cycling when we're trying to find out about riders. So some of the domestic teams, it's sort of a little bit more digging around as the race has gone on. So she took a stage in the general classification in the Tour of the Southern Highlands this year, which again sounds like something from my homeland. Took a crit victory in Redlands as well, the Giro de Grafton, which was another victory, and one of my favourites, also the July Whiskey City Twilight Challenge. She's also had
brilliant
victories in. That's as well as numerous placings as well. So definitely a rider. This looking at Criterium circuits, it's these sort of circuits, definitely something that domestically she's very successful at.
Yeah, definitely. I think this type of racing obviously it suits her riding style. She looks like a strong, powerful rider, and she's also not afraid to give it a go and be attacking. I mean, she's always been at the pointy end of the bike race, and even yesterday, despite all that attacking she did, she still finished 10th on the stage, which, for the amount of energy spent in those breakaways, to still come away the top 10 on yesterday's stage, it's quite incredible, and still, got the legs for today.
The intermediate sprint, so the big cash sprint, comes with 4 laps to go, and that, as we said, the total is up to $7,200 so far. Kilometres to go in your top corner. The sprint with 4 laps to go is at 42.3 kilometres to go, or miles to go, 26.3 miles to go. So thanks for, we'll just update you on that one. So just a few of you just asking when that one is. Just Aubrey saying hi from Belgium. Kay Dragonoff checking in from Kyle in Charleston, South Carolina. And it's good to have you all on board on this one. And Giles Blay, good morning. Good morning, everyone, from New Zealand. Looking forward. Again, yeah, Aussies, New Zealanders getting up. So if you're up and about on a Monday morning, welcome aboard to the Colorado Classic, day 4, second of our races here today on GCN Racing. Bob Ferguson checking in from South Wales. It's been hot today in South Wales, 26 degrees. It is has been a beautiful day. So Pete Slegers, thanks for saying hi. Kogas Metler on the attack. So Rachel Langdon, as we said, the former footballer, former soccer player as well. Tom Mallard checking in from Elam near Seattle. Name I recognise well, I think. Tom Mallard from days gone by. Julie Van der Hoop, for Halifax, Nova Scotia. Old teammate of Emma Edwards on Team USA. So thanks for saying hi, all of you over on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook as well, Bernard Moger, thank you again for checking in from France, from Brittany. Tony Oswald just checking in. Emma Pooley won the Further Journey Ultra Bike with some hiker bike. So great ride today from Emma Pooley. Tony Oswald's been dot watching for us on that one. I know a lot of you checking in from Denver. We've been checking out some interesting Denver facts as well, haven't we? We've been liking it. One of the most interesting Denver facts here at GCN is that Denver brews more beer than any other city. I saw Dan Lloyd disappearing out the door quite rapidly when we told them that. So I think that might be the next GCN video.
We threw him a question, didn't we? How long would it take you to sample all 4,000?
Yeah, 4,000 beers from
incredible.
Denver. So Dan does Denver will be the GCN, the next GCN video.
Cause a very famous beer coming from there. Actually, the park that's on the start-finish line is named after Coors. It's where they've got the baseball park located in downtown Denver. So
is indeed. So we had a little reaction. 25 seconds now for Rachel Langdon. Hannah, you were very much as well. You were a great crit rider in your career as well. When you get out early on in this one, you kind of on these big wide streets think, oh, I'm on my own. But sometimes in this position, when you can just get out there on your own, set your own tempo, hold your own gap, it's sometimes a position that some riders quite like.
Yeah, I think when you can get into your own rhythm and sort of get into the race, you just sort of like get on with it, I guess. I mean, she might have hoped, like yesterday, that actually a few riders would have come across to her and she could sort of form, have a couple of riders with her in this breakaway. I mean, in comparison, this is a much longer crit than what we'd race in the UK. I mean, in the UK, the crits are around an hour long. Whereas here, she has gone early, and it's just kind of a case of how long can she sustain this for. With that peloton, they're not too bothered about her being out front, and at the minute, she's not such a threat to, the stage victory, I don't think, and even, on the overall as well. With one rider out there, it'll be quite okay for the peloton to reel in when they want to. As soon as those lead-out trains start gathering themselves together, as you can see, they're quite happy for it, for Rachel to stay out there.
It is, it's as we say, the sort of on this sort of circuit, it's more of what we would call a sort of Kermesse circuit that we get in Belgium. It's a term that we use in cycling for sort of a longer circuit. Criterium, generally, a kilometre and a half, 2 kilometres maybe on a Criterium circuit. And I've raced crits in the US over the years, and I loved crits when I was growing up and when I was racing, and I did crits in the Midwest. I went over and lived in sort of Columbus in Indiana for a summer, and I raced crits in California, and I absolutely love these really wide, fast crit circuits. It's like you said, it's very, very different from what we get in Europe. Where we are, we always look for little narrow cobbled streets, don't we? Very tight, very technical.
I think that's sort of a bit of a trademark, and it's just the way British towns and cities are built, really, isn't it? And the same with mainland Europe, the likes of Belgium, that the streets are narrow. Generally, you might have a bit of cobbles in or pave. Whereas, in America, they're always generally wide roads, and they're not too technical, but you do have maybe right angle left-handers or right-handers, so they are sometimes quite sharp, but generally it's like what we're seeing now. It's easy to move up throughout the peloton, and actually despite there being 8 to 9 riders here, it doesn't look that many because the roads are so wide, whereas in the UK sort of like positioning is really key, because of if you find yourself at the back of an 8 to 9 rider peloton on a narrow street, there's no chance you're ever going to see the front.
But again, you've got these, because of the way these circuits are, big wide roads, very flowing, very fast, it then becomes, when you see someone that can get off the front the way Rachel Langdon's done here, it takes a different kind of effort to launch your move, because you have to carry so much speed to get away.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it yesterday. A lot of riders, sort of trying to attack from the front, and within 5-10 seconds they were already caught. They were not going with enough speed. They were kind of just attacking from no speed at all, and riders who were on their wheel were able to sense what was happening, and they were able to just jump straight onto them. Whereas on a course like this, you really do need to come from around 10th position, 12th position even, come with a lot of speed and take everyone by surprise. You could even do a bit of a long flyer where people go from the back of the peloton, sort of move up, and as we can see on the right hand side now, 2 riders sense that the peloton's not wanting to chase. Let's try and jump across. I think it looks like Lindsay Goldman of Hagensberg and Supermint, one of the riders involved there.
I think Catherine Collin is the Amy D Foundation rider that's gone with her. So again, just trying to get that big move going there, that big attack. Lindsay Goldman so animated yesterday in the race.
I mean, if you know the distance that Rachel Langdon's got to go, you know, she would actually welcome a few riders jumping across to her. But it's just now whether, you know, the peloton will allow a couple of riders to come across, which, as we just saw then, no, they weren't happy with that. They wanted to shut it down immediately. But the way Rachel rode yesterday, you know, she could be a danger to the peloton, and you know, it only takes time that the peloton sort of rest on the laurels a little bit, and next minute, you know, Rachel's got 1-2 minutes of a lead.
Rachel Langdon on the circuit. A little comment from Laura Vance over on the chat forum on GCN Racing on YouTube. This is there's a crit in the City Park that she's raced a few times, so they're very, very familiar. So we all have we want to know if it's a Wednesday night, because we all have a Wednesday night World Championships, don't we? Doesn't matter where you go in the world. You have generally it's a Wednesday night.
Midweek. Let's say midweek World Champs, because I think, you know, sort of near me, you've got it on a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Yeah. But yeah, you all want everyone, and everyone's got a Wednesday night world champion. The world, you know, Wednesday night World Championships. You all have that local rider that peaks every summer for the Wednesday night World Championship series. Don't they? We've all got one. If you don't know who it is, it's you. You're that hitter that trains every summer for the Wednesday night World Champs. Just checking in as well. It's Wits in Moab. I've now worked out your name. Thanks for saying hi. Our lone leader. If you're just joining us, welcome aboard Stage 4 of the Colorado Classic. We're in Denver. It's the stage brought to you by the Gates Corporation today as well. And 8 laps of this circuit. 5% time limit today as well. That's brutal, isn't it, as well, if you have any kind of issue.
I think, as we saw yesterday, how Samantha Runnels had a problem with a front wheel puncher, and she had a problem with the front wheel puncher. The convoy, you know, it was split. She wasn't being able to get, you know, a pace from a car and make her way through the convoy. And you know, and unfortunately, she was a DNF. I think, you know, she didn't make the time cut, which, you know, it's a real shame. And a big blow for the USA national team. So on a stage like today, where the gap's only 5%, you know, it's not a lot at all. And all it takes is, you know, for you to have a mechanical problem. You might not get dropped. It's just or be able, when you have a problem, that's it, and it could be the end of it, your day.
You see the colours of the Amy D Foundation on the front. And again, in this situation, and Rachel Langdon, she's just out there now. She could literally sit out there for the whole race. And some of the smaller teams as well. It's, again, you've got to look at how you're going to ride this. So riders 30 seconds up the road, you've either got to get the jump, get away and get across quickly, or you look around, because you've got Show Air 2020 in here. You've got Canyon SRAM. I'm doing my best as well to all our viewers that were here yesterday with my H in my SRAMs. Can't help it. It's I'm now paranoid about it. But you've got those teams. It's really up to them. Your B Pinks, Rally. These are the teams really that you want to let control the front of the peloton. They don't need to do that job. They'd be better served sitting back. If you're not going to jump and get clear, there's no really. You just
look at the energy that this rider is using, and she's really hammering it. She's basically, you know, bringing back Rachel Langdon, but actually, you know, what for? Because actually it should be the job of Show Air 2020. They are the team that have that yellow jersey on the shoulders of Chloe Dygert, and they should be the ones defending it. And if they feel it's becoming a bit dangerous having Rachel Langdon out here, then they should be the ones chasing it. You know, for me personally, some of these small teams definitely, like you say, try and, you know, have a chat to each other in the peloton and say, you know, between the smaller teams, and say, you know, what how about if who do you want to put in the breakaway? Should we try and jump across and go about it that way? That actually, you know, the quicker you get across to Rachel Langdon, the better, rather than sort of dragging the whole peloton along with you.
a lot of chat going on as well about teams, and we chatted a little bit about Ineos and teams coming in and sponsors, and Peter Slager's comment, yeah, raising basic salaries would be a good start, saving some of the teams with financial worries too. Again, we've got to get to that point with minimum salaries, and the way maybe as well TV rights, the way they're distributed around world cycling as well. So those are sort of issues that we've got to cover. Troy checking in from Trinidad and Tobago. Thanks for saying hi. Nice to hear that we're going out in TNT Looks like Katie Hall that's going on the attack now. Trinidad and Tobago, the first place I ever went to. Started my TV career in Trinidad and Tobago with Michael Phillips' racing series over there, the West Indies versus the world.
I raced over there myself. Brilliant racing. When Jacene Phillip had a 3-day cycling festival, it was Michael Phillips was there. Great place and great enthusiasm from the crowds as well.
So we're getting some videos that come in periodically, and I'm not sure. Super Sid in my ears will tell me if we've got audio on certain things. But the Denver hire bikes that you can pick up there as well. But Denver, it's it looks. I'm not lucky enough to have been yet. Denver, but Denver loves cycling. The Metro Denver, the off-street bike paths. There's 700 apparently Red Trek bikes available at the rental stations, 89 stations across the city. So Denver loves its sports as well. We are a very popular place for sports. If you're not familiar with that one, if you are, a lot of you are from Denver. So they've got the NFL Denver Broncos, the NBA Denver Nuggets, the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche. We've got the MLB Colorado Rockies, the MLS Colorado Rapids, the MLL Colorado Outlaws, the NLL Colorado Mammoth. It also hosts the world's largest rodeos. This is for all of you Denver residents. Correct me if I'm getting this wrong. The National Western Stock Show and Rodeo. Denver is the only city to build 3 new sports stadiums in the 90s. 50,000-seater Coors Field, 75,000 Bronco Stadium at Mile High, and 20,000-seater Pepsi Center as well. Katie Hall on your left looks pretty keen to get in on the action. Last year's winner, not had the race that probably she was expecting as well. Katie Hall, 2 minutes and 52 seconds down in the general classification. Again, it depends where you are in your form cycles as well. She's had a very different year to maybe the years that she's had previously with UHC.
Yeah, it's just perhaps not gone her way, and I think a lot of people, especially on stage 2, were looking to Katie to make the move on the climb. But you never know. She's coming in as the defending champion, and if the course doesn't suit her, I mean, she is an out-and-out climber, and today and yesterday especially, the courses haven't had that much climbing, which really suits her. Using it especially towards a form for World Championships as well, maybe this week.
Yeah, so a lot of the chat on the forums. I'll just say as well now, I'm sure people will dive in and out. Remember that when you're on the chat forums, that people are watching this and will watch the Vuelta later and check out the highlights. So remember, on the we have a little bit of housekeeping on the chat forums, and remember that other people won't have seen the Vuelta from today. We don't give any spoilers away for the Tour of Norway, the ladies Tour of Norway that we had earlier on as well. You can go back and watch that one on demand. So remember, just to kind of remember that various people might have been getting in New Zealand. They're getting up in the morning, so just no spoilers from the Vuelta on the chat forums. Keep yourself nice and popular. Marco van den Hout checking in from Gorla in the Netherlands, so regular contributor. Thanks for saying hi. And now the attack, big attack going in here, and interesting. They're going on the offensive here now, so some big attacks. Fearless Femme going on the offensive again, so 89 riders starting. So we say Fearless Femme. So I think when we had our graphic, and then just we had that little infomercial, which is something that's completely out of our control. It looks like when we had the infomercial that Rachel Langdon was caught. So we didn't see the catch. I didn't take my eye off the screen. Did you take your eye off the screen?
No.
So I think when we went to that little infomercial there, I think they got caught. Rachel Langdon. It might change. We might see another gap up. That's just when I was saying it's strange when Fearless Femme were attacking. So our apologies. Something that's completely out of our control. She had the gap and pulled back. So we've gone through 7 to go. We have the intermediate sprint on the line with 6 laps to go. Then we have our big money sprints, which will come with 4 laps of this circuit to go. There's your sprint leader. So Chloe Dygert, Owen is leading in the sprints classification. Brodie Chapman, Jennifer Valenti, Tanya Erath, and Beck Wysack are the top in that classification. Holly Breck is on the attack here for Fearless Femme. And again, not letting her get too far up the road here. And, this team, it looks like her teammate, Flavia Oliveira, that's on the front here. As a little look back, drags the peloton up to towards her teammate.
Very unusual tactics. That, you know, teammates are chasing down teammates, wasting a lot of energy by doing so.
You can make yourself very unpopular in your team, can't you, by chasing down your teammate and pulling the peloton back up. So they the catch is made, and then it will start again. So Flavia Oliveira, the next Fearless Femme rider to go. Brodie Chapman in the orange jersey, straight trying to react straight away. Now the sprint starts. Chloe Dygert moving up there. Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank as well, trying to get up there in getting on the action in this sprint.
Tiffany Cromwell up there as well for Canyon SRAM. Very distinctive style of racing there. Trying to pick up more points.
So they're just leading out this one up towards the line this time. The first intermediate sprint of the race just has a little look back. 6 laps to go. We go through, so they will hopefully give us confirmation of the order across the line. Looks like Tiff Cromwell now going on the attack here for Canyon SRAM.
This is the perfect tactic for these 4. If the other 2 can just get across to Cromwell and the rider from Rally UHC to get the group straight after the sprint. The rest of the peloton weren't that bothered about getting involved in the intermediate sprint. They've opened up a considerable gap already. It just Tiff Cromwell's quite eager to pursue this one. Rider from Rally UHC isn't so. Maybe if the other 2 riders, the rider from Fearless Femme and the rider from Tibco SVB, can get across once they can get into a rhythm and really start working together, we can see our first real big breakaway form.
I think it's Sarah Poitevin that's getting up here as well. Flavia Oliveira in those colours, but again you could see, so it's Emily Newson from Tibco, Flavia Oliveira and Tiff Cromwell. That was the order across the line. So Emily Newson from Team Tibco Silicon Valley Bank, Flavia Oliveira and Tiff Cromwell. So 5, 3 and 1 points across the line that time. So we're 6 laps to go here in Denver on day 4 of the Colorado Classic, presented by the VF Corporation. And we are expected to look at this one. It's definitely a day for the sprinters. So 62.7 kilometers to go. And again, all the pressure goes off the front.
It's quite a similar situation of racing we saw yesterday. As soon as it eases up, you know, where will the next attack come from? Chloe Dygert moving up towards the front now. Just patrolling this one. She's the rider in the yellow jersey, so keep an eye out for that one with the pink shoes.
The colours of Lux hitting the front riders here, just getting tailed off. Again, a pretty relentless pace in this one. It's like
looks
Beck
like Beck Wysack.
Yeah. Has she got an issue here, Beck Wysack? She's just dropping off the back of the bunch here. Was she trying to make her way back in? So interesting. She was a rider that I had down as a potential for the stage today.
Yeah, me too. She's actually my favourite to take the victory on such a course. I think it really suited her, but doesn't look too comfortable at all. We'll try and find out if she's had a problem, whether she's coming back from a mechanical, but just didn't really look that great, comfortable or great on the bike just then.
Again, that breakaway yesterday out there with Silvia Valsecchi getting caught in towards the finish. Just pick out your jerseys that you're watching out for. So your blue and green jersey, the Queen of the Mountains, the Colorado Tourism Office jersey, the orange and purple jersey, sort of a purpley maroon colour, is our first rank sprint leader, Gates Corporation General Classification jersey that Chloe Dygert is wearing. It's a sort of seafoam blue colour and purple colours from Aisha McGowan today. She's the Audi most inspirational rider, that VF Corporation most badass rider. It's black and pink. You've seen that. And the VF Corporation best young rider is green and pink. Is that one. And there you have it. There's the Queen of the Mountains jersey, which is being worn by Edwidge Patel. She's just a little bit further up here. So these teams just, the riders here, just moving up towards the front. Annette Barrera there, you can see, national champions jersey, wearing 52. Good to see her getting up there, so you can see the pressure really on. Now there's the draw. We'll hopefully get some knowledge on how we're getting on with this big cash prize. Next time they come round, it'll be 5 laps to go, and then we will have that intermediate sprint, the big money sprint.
I can imagine it's going to be very, very hotly contested, as if it was the finish of the bike race actually, and quite like it has been these past few days. But I think today, last chance.
Whitney Allison in the centre there for Hagens Berman's Supermint. And again, looking at that team, again they really have been on the offensive throughout this one. They've been a really attacking team in this one. It's been great to see in the way that they've ridden this one. And that Showa 2020 team, Emma White potentially today as well, a rider that we need to watch out for in the sprint. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Saw her racing at the Women's Tour of Scotland just a few weeks ago, and she was always up there, really challenging for the victory. She came close on stage 2, and she was leading the Young Riders jersey. Definitely the one that Rally UHC will be protecting today. Got a background in cyclocross, so very much used to the messy bunch sprints, and then be able to sort of pick a way through the peloton.
So our the big attack now going in, the US national team. It's good to see this jersey that's been on the attack of this one. As we said yesterday, unfortunately losing one of their teammates in this one. It's now getting up there, going on the attack. So in towards the park on this final stage of the Colorado Classic. No big attacks beyond Rachel Langdon's so far, managing to stick, but now through the park we're starting to get a decent gap through here.
It's almost like when the course has this kind of nature, it doesn't really lend itself to breakaways that can sort of get a significant gap, or even get a decent number of riders together to create a bigger breakaway to work together. It's kind of one rider attacks, and if the attack out of one of the corners, someone doesn't hold the wheel, and that's how the attacks are sort of playing out so far. Because as you can see, the peloton in one long line, they are chasing. They're not wanting to let this the rider from the USA national team get away, and especially when you've got a jersey like that on your back. You're such a target. They know your strengths and weaknesses. Good
question from Alan Hoffman over on the YouTube forum. How do domestiques work on a flat, fast stage, sort of an extended crit circuit like this?
Yeah, I think it's the same as kind of in a road race, to be honest. Making sure you're looking after your leader. If they need anything or if they have a problem, they have a mechanical, making sure you're with them and helping them and sort of chaperone them back into the peloton. If they need any drinks or whatever, go back to the car and get drinks or food and give it to your leader, so the leader can just sit comfortably in the peloton, not wasting any energy. And then going into the closing stages of the race, they'll act as and be the main role of the lead out and guide the person who they want to win to the finish. I think also throughout the race, if there is any breakaways, the domestique's job is to make sure those breakaways are closed down. So it's it's quite a hard job and a lot of responsibility on their shoulders. Sometimes more so than the rider that is the leader of the team, to be honest, because they've got such a huge array of jobs as a domestique. One that I think is very rewarding though when it does pay off. I think you hear a lot of riders saying how they love being a domestique. They love they feel like the sense of achievement when they've helped someone to a victory.
So again, attack after attack after attack here in Colorado. Final stage, Katie Hall up there in second wheel here, just trying to get into the mix on this one. And I think this looks like the pattern of the stage so far. And Mark Lucas just commenting on it's a bit pixely in terms of the picture. Apologies, yes, this is basically the feed that we're getting. It's a host broadcast issue, so apologies if you are finding it a little bit pixelated. That's a host broadcast issue. We're doing our best to try and sort that one out for you. Pack Fodder just letting us know as well. A little comment: Van Vleuten versus Dygert would be is something that they would like to see.
That would be very interesting.
Two very different riders as well.
I think head to head in a time trial, I think they'd be very closely matched actually. Maybe not so much when we go into sort of like the high mountains. I think Van Vleuten is clearly the best, especially in 2019 in the whole women's peloton in the high mountains. But if they went head to head in a time trial, then that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing at the World Championship, seeing that showdown.
So again, Amber Neben on the attack there, just waving the rider there from Rally UHC through towards the front. And it's a little group just getting off the front here. So we're not far away from our bonus cash lap. You saw them just flashing up there. If people want to contribute to that one.
You can just see the pace and effort that Amber Neben of Kodjas is putting on at the front of this peloton. She's really splitting. She keeps looking behind her. She has got around 10 riders, and there's a few gaps starting to open up. Could this be where we see, a bit of a elastic snap and actually, we have a large group of riders go clear?
It would help. It would be good for the stage, I think. We've got a little bit of pressure now going off the front of the peloton. So it would be, I think is kind of what the stage needs. Looking at the way it's going so far, it would work. It would be good for the stage, I think, if we can get a big group going clear off the front. So
around
Amber
12
Neben
riders made that front split there. I mean, that's just through to the brute force and the effort that Amber Neben's putting on the front. No one else has actually contributed yet, but that is why she's been world champion in the individual time trial. She's telling everyone now this is a signal to say, come through, let's start working together, do something that we call through and off or pace line, as other nations say. But no one's actually, wanting to come through. The rider from Rally UHC quite happy to sit on a wheel and let her do all the work. But this is where the breakaways don't work. When no one cooperates, no one's willing to help with the work and share the workload. This is why we've seen quite often that the breakaways not work.
But again, this kind, sometimes you've got the rally rider who's not contributing. She's sat on Amber Neve, and you've got a group off the front. It's looking round, and if you've got a plan coming into the stage, that plan has to be flexible. It has to be adaptable. You might come in and say, it's all for Emma White today, and you know, today, but that plan has got to be, you've got to be able to change the plan.
Yeah, you've got to be able to sort of like think on the spot, and you've got, you know, a split second to make your decision. Right, okay, do I want to be in this breakaway? If I'm in this breakaway, should I be working? Speak on your radio to your sports director and say, right, I've made the front group, what shall I do? Shall I carry on working? You know, Flavia Oliveira from Fearless Femme here on the front, you know, actually she's probably realised, okay, we've got a gap now. We've been trying to get in the break for the past 2 days, and you know, they finally made it into a substantial amount of riders in this group. But sometimes this is to the detriment of a breakaway when you have too many riders in the front group, that actually people try and hide and sit at the back and not work, and that's where, you know, sometimes you see the peloton, without even trying really, they bring the breakaway back.
So DNA, they've got riders up here. And another rider that we've been looking out for, who's in, I think it's Janelle Cole, that's up here as well for Lux, who's got into this move.
I think as well, teams that may be a little bit put off that, you know, we do have the large cash prize bonus sprint coming up quite soon, and you know, if they've got other ambitions and they know they're not a very strong sprinter, the team manager might be saying, please don't work. You know, we've got, you know, X rider in the back in the peloton. They're a faster sprinter. You know, we can try and win this this money, the cash prize, Preem.
And the pressure just goes out. Chloe Dygert gets up here now into this group. Just saw the yellow jersey just moving up. Shame. Just again, we just say that stage just needs something to be able to bring this one alive. So coming into the line this time. So just Amber Neben having a little look around now on the front. So she was the rider that managed to take that group off the front. So they'll get 5 laps to go this time, and they go through the line. So 5 to go this time. You can see 54.3 kilometers of the stage remaining. And again, these little moves. Amber Neben still on the front here. 5 to go. So next lap is the next intermediate sprint. 4 to go. That will be their big cash preem. So that big cash premium. You see Chloe Dygert now moving up in that yellow jersey. She will want the big money prize when they come through the line next time.
Interesting tactics from Amber Neben, to be honest, from Kodjas, the rider in the red jersey just on your right-hand side of your screen. Because they haven't really got a real out-and-out sprinter on the team. So whether, you know, they've got other ideas to try and slingshot someone off the front going into the bonus sprint. We'll see that cash lap coming up in 1 lap's time. Wonder what the cash is up to so far. We'll try
and find out from Meredith, our colleagues over there on the ground, just to see what the cash prize is up to for the next lap. Guaranteed we'll see some action coming into that sprint. Can they battle out for this one? You see that many of the teams now trying to get up there, get in on the action. And a big move going in. I think, is this Annette Barrera that's going on the attack for the Swap It team? One of the national champions jerseys from Team Swap It. So can she get away? This is a good move here on this one. So again, Super Sid, as we call him, is trying to sort out the picture issues for you. You can see it's, hopefully for you, it's starting to get a little bit clearer. As you will have noticed, the GCN logo, GCN Racing logo in the corner is crystal clear, and the other bit, so it's a host broadcast little technology issue for them. So we're doing our best. This is Ariadna Gutierrez. My apology, as that's now got clear. Wearing number 53 from Mexico. So Gutierrez again was quite animated on the first day. It was Ariadne Gutierrez from memory. Can she get clear? Can she take the big money prize here in this one?
Well, she's looking strong and comfortable so far, and there's not any reaction from the peloton behind. But this is what we've seen, you know, especially the past 2 days, that the breakaways have only ever been, you know, 1 or 2 riders. Anything bigger than that, it's just not worked, and riders aren't happy. And you can see the distance that she's gapped the peloton so far. Try and get a time check on that.
Hannah's got her stopwatch out, so she'll put a clock on this one just to see how we're getting on. So, Ariadne Gutierrez first in the Pan American Championships road race this year. She's raced throughout the Joe Martin stage race. She was there in the Tour of California as well, and the Vuelta Guatemala, second in the Mexican road race championships this year as well. So a good season so far. That Pan American Championship road race victory, the biggest one so far this year for her. Took that again ahead of some good strong competition. And Meredith Miller has just let me know that the cash total is up to $8,416. So that's what's the Ariadne Gutierrez is racing for here. Go Gutierrez. $8,416. This would be a big payday for the Swap It rider if she can hang on, but you can bet that that peloton behind will be hunting down to try and bring her back on this fast-flowing circuit. It looks like at the moment that's the advantage very much with the peloton on this one. We saw how quickly that they brought back Rachel Langdon a little bit earlier on.
It'd be a very, very warm welcome, that amount of money to the team, wouldn't it? And sure, she'll be sharing it with her teammates. But on a circuit like this, you know, it's only a 10.6 kilometre circuit, so it's not actually that far. You know, it's quite doable with the gap she's got now. But Show Air 2020 coming to the front of this peloton, wanting to bring this back maybe for Jennifer Valente, their main sprinter. She won the bunch sprint yesterday for second place behind her teammate Chloe Dygert.
She also won the $10,000 in Avon.
Wouldn't be a bad week for 4 days, would it?
So just trying to line this one up with the teams on the front. Ali Legg there. Hagensberm, Supermint, they're coming through towards the front as well. Lily Williams, perhaps the protected sprinter she could be today for Hagensberm and Supermint. Just hands it in the pocket. You can see it's a champion's jersey. Taking the opportunity now just to have a feed, just get a gel.
But she's still able to maintain the rhythm that she had before, you know, taking on that gel and getting straight back into the drops. Looking comfortable so far. Around 20 seconds gap now to the peloton. And despite the chase from Show Air 2020, they're not making any inroads to Gutierrez.
So 20 seconds, Hannah's got the stopwatch on as well, just to double check this one. So can she hang on into the finish and take this big cash prize? The sprinters teams though, when they ramp up that pace on the front, they can pull her back quite quickly in towards the park now. And then it's round the park, back out, and the faster flowing circuit. They will back up towards the line. 4 laps to go. If you're watching your kilometers in the corner, is 42.3 kilometers to go, or 26.3 miles. That's your ticker in the corner.
17 seconds now the gap is down to for Gutierrez, so it's like Tanya Erath on the front for Canyon Schramm there, wanting to bring this back. Maybe, swapping it around this time. That she was the protected rider for the intermediate cash prize sprint yesterday. Maybe today, looking at the form that Tiff Cromwell's on and the way she's been riding the past few days, leading her out.
So Tiff Cromwell, Aussie rider, as we go through the park. Good question from Aaron over there while we head round towards our finish. We've got plenty Ks to go before we get to that sprint. How long is Dygert's contract for? Assuming bigger teams will take notice after this performance. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we're into that Olympic cycle, and she's done a lot of road racing this year. We're seeing her here. She's a former junior road world champion and time trial champion as well. She's been 4th in the elite time trial. And I think when you look at the structure of the racing, look at the structure of the program, Show Air 2020, I think at the moment for her, she's still very young as well, in the early 20s. But I think it works for her at the moment. I know we always sometimes assume as soon as we see a dominant performance like this, but the bigger teams, the World Tour teams, your Bull Diamonds, your Trek Segafredos, your Canyon SRAMs, are going to snap up that rider, and they may approach her. But sometimes a rider like Chloe Dygert, who likes to mix the track, as you said, she's targeting multiple Olympic games. That program, it works for her, doesn't it? So it's not always a given that she might end up there, because she might not get that freedom as a rider to be able to do that track program. Yeah, and
I think also, as we said before, she's put her ambitions of how many Olympics she wants to go to and the World Championships, and if she's happy there and she's supported well at Show Air 2020, then I don't see any reason why she just needs to swap teams just because she's had a dominant performance. I think the freedom that she's got to be able to achieve what she wants to, and I think that's the whole point of Show Air 2020. It's all geared around the Olympics. So you might remember the team was 2012, and then it was 2016, and this obviously going into 2020. So it's a team geared around the Olympics, and they've got a lot of riders who they're helping to get to the Olympics as well. So it's not just American, USA riders. They've got Mexican riders too. So I think for Dygert, if it works for her, and obviously she can base herself in America as well, in a home, that she doesn't have to live in Europe like she'd have to if she was racing for the likes of Trek Segafredo or Boels Dolmans or so yeah, I think it's also what works for the rider, and as long as they're happy.
We had a little question, 29.4 miles to go in. She's almost there. Little question from Magnus for you. Maggie just asking, why any thoughts on why Show Air 2020 didn't want our riders to get a decent gap? Because for them it worked for them, doesn't it? It takes the pressure off in terms of bonus seconds and things as well. I
think with this cash prize coming up, they've got their eyes on that. I think they're quite capable with Jennifer Valente for picking up that big cash prize, and we might see actually after that sprint has gone, we might see another breakaway be allowed to get a bit more time and then maybe a bigger breakaway form. But I think now all the teams have got their eyes on this $8,400 prize, and yeah, I mean, rightly so. I mean, it's absolutely incredible that the amount of money that's been sort of texted in and from sort of like crowd sourced. There's not many races that do this, so I think as a paycheck, especially in women's cycling, this is huge for teams. This could be more than they get as a salary each year as well.
Expect a big sprint now. Here you go. There's your bonus cash lap number. It's still on the screen. There are still kilometres to be able to try and get this one. Watch out for the likes of Jennifer Valente, Becca Wyzak if she's managed to recover, Tanya Erath. Lily Williams as well up there, Janelle Cole as well for Lux potentially, great sprinter. Maybe Rachel Langdon we might see her take another flyer. She seems to be able to just put multiple turns in on the multiple attacks. We see her go again and again and again. She just moves up right on schedule. Couldn't have timed that comment better myself.
Yeah, perfect. She's just bringing herself up to the front. She is wearing the jersey with the black shoulders and the blue body. getting herself into that frame, because, you know, she does think that she can be up there in that sprint, and, you know, she showed yesterday after all the effort she put in, she was still able to finish 10th. I do think as well, if her teammate Beck Weisacker is back in the frame, I do think she could do quite well in this intermediate sprint as well.
Hagens, Berman, Supermints, the team on the front. Whitney Allison again on the front. Chloe Dygert now moving up. Remember there, Jennifer Valente, their sprinter. Could she take the sprint in this one? I think it's great. I mean, I've emceed a few crits in my time, being the announcer at the crits. I used to go around with a hat, quite even just recently, and the amount of money we used to be able to raise just walking around the crowd to raise money for a cash sprint, and especially when there was a bit of a lull in a race. If you go around and ask the crowd for money and put a preem on, just watch everyone.
I remember doing one I remember doing one in Jersey, actually, in one of the Channel Islands. I think maybe were you commentating on, actually?
I was
racing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was brilliant. That was really good.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think you probably won a few of them as well.
Great weekend.
I think we had like I think, you know, £100 is quite a lot in a crit on a preem, but I think we managed to get up to there at some point as well. So yeah, well, it's good. It's great to see raising that amount of money as well. It's again, it's worth mentioning as well that the cash prize as well is split between the rider and the charity organisation. So the rider doesn't get the whole amount of cash in this one, and the charity is Girls on the Run. That's the charity. So a transformational physical activity based positive youth development programs for girls in the 3rd and 8th grades. So GOTR teaches life skills through dynamic interactive lessons and running games, and the program culminates with the girls being physically and emotionally prepared to complete a celebratory 5K event. And the goal of the Girls on the Run program is to unleash confidence through accomplishment while establishing a lifetime appreciation of health and fitness. Girls on the Run of the Rockies is an independent council of Girls Run International, which has a network of over 200 councils across the nation. That's the charity. Now we come in the leading out now. So Tiff Cromwell, so they're leading out. Chloe Dygert moving up. Tanya Erath. So they're moving up. Jennifer Valente is well into position here. Now they line up for the sprint. Valente is poised and ready. Leading out, Erath on the wheel. Dygert is there. Langdon is also on the wheel. 300 metres to go up towards the line. Great lead out here from Canyon Stram. Little gap there. Back to Rachel Langdon. This could go Valente, but Erath is right on the wheel here. Valente and Erath. Jennifer Valente, though, lines up for the sprint. The Canyon Stram rider trying to come through on the line. Valente throws the bike at the line. We'll see if we get a sign-on shot of that one.
Very close and fiercely contested, wasn't it, between Showa 2020 and Canyon Shram there?
It was indeed. So they've now got the leader off the line. Here's the side-on shot here. Valente throws the bike at the line.
So close. It's all about the bike throw, I think, because, you know, Erath was coming with a lot of speed on the left-hand side of Valente there.
And you can see Chloe Dygert now having a little look back, and you know what's going through her mind with 4 laps to go. She's thinking, "Should we have a little go?"
I wonder what they're sharing here. Is that
so? That,
like
I think it's ice cubes.
I think it's ice. I think it's gone through the feed, haven't they? Yes, just there on the back. So teams, you know, because it's so hot out here, the Swaniers will put ice into tights, ladies' tights, and tie a knot on the end, and then you can put it down your jersey and keep you cool. I think it's important to keep the core body temperature down on a day like today, and especially when the racing is fast and furious. No letting up there on the right hand side. Another attack from Tibco SVB, closely followed by, looks like, B Pink.
So now they're going on the attack. So the Tibco SVB team, they have ridden a really good race in this one. They set things up for Brodie Chapman on the climb a couple of days ago. It's sitting in second place in the general classification. Dygert through towards the front, looking very controlled and very comfortable for Showair 2020. And that sprint as well, that's kind of a good, I think the big cash prize sprint here with 4 to go is kind of a good gauge on where it could go in the finish.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good indication. As we were saying before, you know, it's like it's a finish before the finish, isn't it? Because, you know, with such money on the line, teams are wanting to go for it, and they'll, you know, as Canyon SRAM and Showair 2020, you saw them do a full lead out there with Tiffany Cromwell giving it everything for Tanya Arath, and I think, you know, it is something that we will see into the finish as well. Cromwell very, very happy to pilot Arath and use her experience from the pro peloton to guide the Zwift Academy winner. But I think just looking at the gap that they were able to open as well, going into that sprint, it's actually quite surprising to me that maybe, you know, one of them didn't go for a long attack.
No.
Even Dygert, I think, you know, she would have had the power just to test it out and test the waters and see what would happen.
Annette Barrera having an attack there, national champion in Mexico. And then now the red jerseys through towards the front. It's a good time to go after a big sprint like that. There's been a lot of focus in this race so far. Edwidge Patel trying to come across, it looks like, here as well in that Queen of the Mountains jersey. It's like, looks like Amber Neben that's going off the front again for Kogas. Her teammate trying to come up to us behind. That's a sticky bottle, isn't it?
I think we could say that.
So the team car riders just getting tailed off on the run in to that sprint. Some of the ABD riders. Here comes the commissaire up towards the team car.
Toots his horn, says that's enough.
Yeah, you can feed your riders, but there's commissaires you can see out there, the officials out on the motorbikes as well. And it's the last day of a race as well. You know, it's there's some tired riders out there in this one. There's Aisha McGowan in that Audi Inspirational Riders jersey for ALP Cycles Racing. So I think she was pretty surprised to get awarded that jersey yesterday, but deservedly so.
Yeah, it was quite nice that she tweeted as well after she'd won that jersey. You know, I can't wait to show my grandma the playbacks and explain things about bike racing and how awesome the crowd was. Because yeah, I think she was just very, very proud. You know, it's not probably one of the best things of her career.
So Aisha McGowan, unfortunately, on some of the VTs that we're getting here, they're not sending the audio through on that one for us to be able to get that one. So our apologies on that, but a really inspiring rider is Aisha McGowan. She's a good one to follow on social media, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, she's on a mission to become the first ever African American pro female road racer. And I think, you know, the way she's been racing these past, at Colorado Classic, and you know, having that jersey on her shoulders, you know, she's very proud to have won the Audi Inspirational jersey yesterday, and to be able to wear it in that final stage, I think, you know, just shows the form that she's on, and also, you know, where she's going in her career.
And just a question from McHugh over on the YouTube forum: how do they determine who gets the Inspirational Badass jersey? I think it just comes down to the jury on those, really. You look at the way Rachel Langdon raced yesterday, and she's a very worthy wearer of that black jersey. And Aisha McGowan, again, someone that they feel is inspiring, you know, the spectators, and deserves of that jersey. So yeah, kind of a jury decision. Amber Neben just looks like here, just dragging this little group off the front. So again, small breakaways again. The peloton really haven't let anything stick. They want it to. You can tell that the likes of Showair, they want this to be a bunch sprint. Canyon SRAM, they also want it to be a bunch sprint. But again, it's just on this sort of circuit. It's got plenty of flowing straights. It's controllable. So they, you know, it's workable. If you let a group get, you know, a minute and a half, it can be, yeah, it's more than a manageable gap. Oh, rider down from Hagen's Berman Supermint. That's Lisa Racketto that's gone down there. It's just taken a tumble here as the Hagen's Berman Supermint rider just checking herself over. And back up and on her way again. That's quite a chase for the Hagen's Berman Supermint rider. A few riders just that we saw that had been tailed off the back of the group, chasing to get back in. Hopefully that might help her a little bit. Let's have a little replay of going down. Just going down. Had a bit of a soft landing, did Lisa Racketto. Just again, just landing on the grass there. So quickly up and on her way.
Could have been worse though with that curve there. I think she just clipped the curve going around that corner, and certainly could have been worse the way she landed. She looks okay though. But it is going to be a very, very hard chase for her to get back into this the peloton now, as we saw yesterday. And you know, these wide roads really don't lend itself to riders being able to get back. As soon as that convoy is spread out and away from you, you're not getting any of the aerodynamic benefits.
This is our leading group, so well off the front here. I think it's Maddie Ward on the front. They're really not giving us going up and down the group here, just to make sure to give us a confirmation of who's in the groups here. So as soon as we get up and down that group, we'll confirm that for you. Just Kay Dragonoff over on the YouTube forum. Aisha from Decatur, Georgia. Atlanta is very proud of her. I think deservedly so as well. And Pat Fodder asking, 3 laps in effect. Not on this one, so it's a bit, I know it looks like a Criterium circuit. It's got a Criterium look about it. But it's a 10.6 kilometer circuit, so I'd be sitting out for a couple of laps there if you could have a lap out, sort of thing. But yeah, it's usually on the criteriums in the shorter circuits that you'll be allowed to get a lap out in races. They've stopped it completely in criteriums in the UK now. They laps out. Yeah,
I think a lot of the male riders were taking the mickey, should we say, with you know, saying they've got a puncture or crashed, taking a lap out and then sort of getting back into that front group. So they just decided, actually, do you know what, take it all out. If you puncture or you crash, it's kind of tough luck. And it is a shame, sometimes it does ruin races, but actually, you know, it kind of just makes it a bit more fair.
And Bad Vegan just correcting my dreadful pronunciation of Decatur. So apologies. Yeah, Decatur, Georgia. So thanks for the correction. 10 seconds is the gap. 8 riders. As soon as they can, they will, I'm sure, confirm who those riders are. And the host broadcaster has decided we'd like to show you a crash compilation video here. And the Swap It the team there. And luckily, you know, in the race so far, you know, crashing is part of racing, and all the riders, luckily, are still in the race and riding. Just trying to come across Flavia Oliveira from Fearless Femme, just going off the front of this group. So Flavia Oliveira is leading. And then the chasing group behind, so 7 riders in total. We're just waiting for confirmation on the makeup of this group. So you've got Krista Dobell-Hickok in there for Rally. So Rally UHC. So Krista Dobell-Hickok is that rider in there in the blue jersey. Chasing group behind. This again, the Durango Specialized team. They've been very active in this race. We've seen Ana Hernandez on the attack in this race. So Oliveira has been caught back by the group.
All 8 riders really contributing and working well to this breakaway. Although strange to see Flavia attack the breakaway when it hasn't really established itself fully yet.
There's a few comments on YouTube as well, saying a lot of people saying, why do we need to see the crashes again? I'm actually with you there. I'm not sure why the director and host broadcaster decided for that one. It's Maddie Ward, good rhythm by Maddie Ward. And Whitney Allison is the Hagens Berman Super Mint rider that's in this group. Edward Patel is also in there. Just trying to just pick out our other numbers from this one. So they are up there as well with Amber Neben, who's also in that group. So Whitney Allison you can just see on the outside of the group there. Oliveira is the fearless femme rider, so Flavia Oliveira from Brazil. So good to see her getting in there. Edwidge Patel here from Kogas is the rider in that Queen of the Mountains jersey. So this group just marginally off the front at the moment is this group.
Can see, like, unlike before when we had the big group off the front, everyone is actually taking a turn, going through and off, doing the pace line, as they say over in America. Each person does a turn. They'll look at which way the wind's coming, depicting on which way they will change to. No riders at the moment sort of sitting on the back, not contributing to the effort.
So we've got one rider in there from Lux. I think it's Clara Honsinger is the rider in there from the Lux team. Tatiana Guderzo on the back here, it looks like, for B-Pink. So Tatiana Guderzo, good to see her, the former world champion, getting in the group, not far away from this one. So still Amber Neben on the front. So a couple of riders that we've seen of a bit of a danger in this race so far. I'll confirm it shortly, but at the moment, Maddie Ward, Flavia Oliveira, Krista Dobel-Hickock, Edwidge Patel, Whitney Allison, Clara Honsinger, and Tatiana Guderzo. That's who I'm making out on this one so far. 10 seconds is the gap. 3 laps to go. This time they're really, again, controlling the front of this peloton. No one really getting away much too big an advantage in this one. So 3 laps of the stage to go. Again, really fast flowing circuit, but again, the little breakaway can get established on this one. Again, in city circuits like this as well, it's quite sheltered, isn't it? But in such big, in between such big buildings.
Yeah, but then sometimes you have the wind sort of blowing, down one of the side roads, and it can cause actually big side wind or headwind, depending on which way the wind's coming from. So it's you're either really, really sheltered, or sometimes actually it makes it really windy within the city. One thing it does when you're in a city is make it really hot, so all the heat bouncing off the concrete and coming off the roads. And it is a very, very hot day out here in Denver today.
It is. Apparently it's 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Aisha McGowan just off the back of the group here. So Aisha battling to try and get into here. So fighting to stay with them. A few other of you just getting involved. Thanks for saying hi. Vicky K from Long Island, New York. Thanks for tuning in. And it's back together again. Nothing really sticking on this stage at the moment.
Well, when you're looking at that front group, Flavia Oliveira was the best place rider on the general classification. She was 2 minutes 51 down on race leader Chloe Dygert. So, you know, in real terms, not really a threat to the overall.
Now's the time to go. Big move now. If you want to try and get away, now's the time. You can see the pressure just goes off. You always sense that lull, don't you? That's the time when you've got to take your moment, pick your moment, come from a little bit further down the group, across to the other side of the road. By the time you hit the front, you're already 20 meters up the road.
Yeah, it's just about taking the peloton by surprise, and after they've done that big long chase to chase back the breakaway, just hit them hard, come with a lot of speed, and you should be prepared for it and planning on what you should be doing. A lot of concentration involved throughout the bike race, and sometimes you come away from it, Marty, after a bike race, that you're so tired from the concentration levels as well, of keeping an eye on everything that's going on, and especially on a town circuit like this.
Trad Biner just saying downtown is very blustery here in Denver. The radiant temperature can be as high as 122 degrees Fahrenheit on the bike on this one.
It certainly takes its toll on you, when your body's trying to cool itself down and cool its core body temperature down, as well as the efforts you're making on the bike anyway. It's tiresome work, and that's why we saw before the soigneurs in the feed zone were giving out tights filled with ice. I know at the Giro Rosa, WNT Rota, we were going through so much ice. We were going through kilos and kilos and kilos of ice to keep riders cool, and
you just sit it between between your shoulder blades, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you can either sit it into your sports bra or behind into your shoulder blades, like you say, behind your neck.
Swap it, Ajolico again on the attack here. We've seen them doing the double attacks in this race so far. So again, they're going to come round with 2 laps to go for the final first bank sprint of the race. So it'll be 2 laps to go when they come round next time. So again, those points on the line, no big money on the line this time. I think that's a good addition. I think
it really makes the racing exciting, and it also it gives teams opportunity to not only win a lot of money, but to practice their lead-out trains going into the finish, so they can get a sense of what it will be like going into the finish line to take the victory. So that's what we saw from Show Air 2020 and Canyon SRAM, that it was full-blown lead-outs going into that one.
So these riders, I think this is Silvia Valsecchi that's on the attack again. This from the B Pink team. Miriam Nunes, I think, is the swap it rider.
Just see riders now at the back of the peloton. They've got the hand up with a bottle in their hands. They're signifying that they want the commissaire in the black car there to radio through to their team managers and say, I want to get some more bottles from my team car. Great opportunity, especially in these closing stages, to have a chat to your sports director as well, and discuss more plans going into the finish, and who's feeling good, and if there's any rider might say, actually, I'm not feeling quite so good going into the sprint today, maybe let's change the plan up a little bit. Feed zones generally close on a stage like this with 20 kilometers to go, so perfect timing to get the last bit of liquids and bottles in.
So a little flick of the elbow again. You just see the moves on the front. The pressure goes off again. These 2 riders trying to get clear, but nothing really. They're not letting anything get away today. It's quite a different race, isn't it? I think it's sometimes, you could almost say frustrating sometimes. Although, as Chloe Dygert now just moves up here, it's you look around and, we do expect the breakaway. We look for that breakaway. It's part of the bike race, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And interesting seeing Chloe sort of making a move towards the front now, sensing that actually, there's going to be a few more breakaways coming in. Does she want to go solo again like she did yesterday? But she's certainly more attentive in the race than she was yesterday. She really did keep herself anonymous yesterday until the final time when it was she took the Queen of the Mountain.
Yeah, it's like we've said, you know, sometimes we think a bike race is about, when you're winning a bike race, as we've said on previous days, it's about, you know, we think it's about the rider with the most power, the most speed, that kind of thing. And winning a stage race day in, day out, the way they are, it's about conserving energy. It's about getting through the race using the minimum amount of energy that you can. And she's doing it perfectly. And now up towards the front, there'll be like a foghorn going off in that peloton now that Chloe Dygert's moved her way up towards the front. It's good to see her now getting in on the action here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, as we saw yesterday, you know, she just surfs the wheels very, very well, and she, you know, just saves as much energy as possible. She's powerful anyway, but all that energy conserved throughout the race, and keeping yourself out the wind, keeping yourself in the right position. You know, she can save it for these big ranged attacks.
So again, we've got another little VT going on here. We're waiting for our. It just comes in, they're just putting them up, they're giving us back to the race, which is good. Chloe Dygert now through to the front, your yellow jersey, now looking to try and go 4 from 4. What do you think over on the chat forums? Do you think Chloe Dygert can go 4 from 4? Let's start making some stage predictions. Nothing sticking. Everything in this stage today looks like it's coming down to a bunch sprint. We're getting more attacks now from Timco Silicon Valley Bank. So who's your prediction? I'm going for Jennifer Valenti today, if that's not too easy. And my outside bet today is I'm going for Lily Williams.
Just took it out of the mouth. You're just taking my rider away from me.
Really? Sorry. I'm doing a Dan Lloyd here on GCN. I'm making multiple predictions.
I think actually the way that Canyon SRAM have organised themselves, I mean, they've got so much experience, one of the most experienced teams here. I think the way they have organised themselves, especially going into the intermediate sprints, I think, you know, it could be one for Tanya Erath as long as Tiff Cromwell doesn't drop her off too early. I think if she gives her the perfect lead out, she really could challenge for it. And I just think that she needs to be in front of Valente instead of sort of following her on Valente's wheel. I think she needs to lead out and Valente has to come round her. Looking
at those intermediate sprints, she does look like Valente does look on that last one ahead of Erath. Like she's got that jump. So how as a rider, when you, again, as we said, that was a really good practice, a really good run out for the final sprint. So now for Tanya Erath, when you're in that position, when you sit back, you've got your lead out riders in there. The conversation, what's going on? How are we going to play out this sprint coming in towards the finish? How would that conversation play out?
So they've got race radios in this in this race. So, you know, Tiff Cromwell and the sports director Ronnie Lauker in the team car behind, they'll be able to speak to each other and say, you know, this is what you need to do, maybe try this next time. And Tiff is so experienced. I mean, she's won stages of the Giro Rosa, she's won stages of the Lotto Thuringen Ladies Tour and Omloop Het Nieuwsblad as well. You know, Tiff will guide her and put her in the right place at the right time and drop her off. She's a great lead-out rider. I mean, actually, it's quite a shame that we're not seeing Tiff sort of go for the sprints herself, but, you know, very, very happy to be the road captain, should we say, for Canyon SRAM. But it's just all about learning from your mistakes and looking back what you can do differently next time to be able to outsmart and outwit your opponents.
Now, again, the attacks going again. So our national champion of Mexico goes on the attack here. So good. Now, again, another little duo getting off the front. Remember, we've got an intermediate sprint. There's the sprint result at the moment. So Chloe Dygert ahead of Brodie Chapman and Jennifer Valente. That means Brodie Chapman is wearing that points jersey. Just as we said, just keeping it warm for Chloe Dygert. Leading in pretty much all of the classifications in this one, bar the team classification. The badass jersey and the Audi Most Inspirational Riders jerseys are being worn by Rachel Langdon and Aisha McGowan. Katie Hall through towards the front of this one. Again, Janelle Cole, I think, getting in there up towards the front there for Lux. Now, again, another move goes in here from Flavia Oliveira. That's where you want to come from in a group like this, isn't it?
Yeah, just as the Tiffany Cromwell sort of eased up a little bit there, you know, Oliveira just made a huge attack down the outside. Took them all by surprise, but Dygert was straight on it, no messing around there. She was on it.
She certainly is, and not letting anything get away here. She wants these intermediate sprint points as well in this classification. Just having a really good workout here in terms of just controlling this race.
I think you can tell that sort of Dygert has the peloton wrapped around her finger. Just the way she's able to control it, she's just all she has to do is look around, and people just play into her hands almost, don't they?
It is. It's almost like a lion playing with a wildebeest, isn't it? Something like that. When you get a big, big lion, just controlling everything, just playing with it at the moment. It's impressive. It's something to behold. It's phenomenal to watch. Oliveira, we know, going off the front here for Fearless Femme. And in terms of this race, definitely a team of the race for me as well. This Fearless Femme team, it's been great to see them really on the attack. So just a little bit of background info. So Fearless Femme, they're a pretty inspirational group of women. The team, world record holders, national champions, doctors, MBAs, students, service women, mothers, designers, coaches, teachers, small business owners, and philanthropists. I always struggle with that word. Yet they always manage all of this simultaneously with their bike racing. And the mission of Fearless Femme Racing to be active ambassadors for their parent foundation, Pure Energy Velo, who strive to mentor, educate, inspire and promote health, community, environmental and spiritual benefits of cycling on a youth, community and corporate level. And this is their third year at the Colorado Classic. And what a team they've been so far. The Brazilian rider as well, Flavia Oliveira. What a rider. She's a gutsy rider, isn't she?
Yeah, she certainly is. And I've lost count of how many times she's attacked on today's stage alone. But she attacked not long ago. Sort of Dygert brought it back, and she just went again. And actually, she's been able to get daylight now. 10-second gap for Flavia, rider who did very well at the Rio Olympics. She had won the Queen of the Mountains jersey in the Giro Rosa.
Yeah.
Stage win at the Tour of Ardèche.
She's been up there as well on the Amstel Gold, and also as well up there in the Flèche Wallonne as well. So you can see Flavia Oliveira here sits 7th overall at 2 minutes and 51 seconds. They're not letting her go here. A dangerous rider just off the front. You can see the riders on the front of that group behind. It's Brodie Chapman, perhaps. We're looking for that jersey 5 if they go through that point. It is Brodie Chapman that's on the front here. So Chapman looking for some points here. Here comes Chloe Dygert, though, in the yellow jersey. It's a battle for this sprint's jersey between Dygert and Chapman. Just moves up onto the wheel of Brodie Chapman here in the sprint. So between these two riders, Chloe Dygert, though, is she going to come through? And Chapman looks over the wrong shoulder there in that one. 2 laps to go. And after all that work, you look over the wrong shoulder. You've got to sprint through the line. That's what we always say,
I'm shaking my head, actually, because, Brodie Chapman sort of did everything perfect there to be able to take maximum points in that intermediate sprint, and actually just thought she had it too easy, sat up and eased off the pace a little bit, looked around the wrong shoulder, and she's lost it just by a whisker. So just yeah, Dygert able to outsmart her yet again. Yeah,
and she's just riding off the front. You've got to be careful when she gets a little gap like this, haven't we? Marco Vandenhout over on Facebook's going for Tanya Erath for the sprint, the victory today. Kaz Witt just checking in as well over on Facebook. Ariane Lajano as well, just saying hi over on the Facebook feed as well. So thanks all of you. There's your result. Chloe Dygert takes that from Brodie Chapman and Flavia Oliveira. Brodie Chapman, again, looking around. She'd be kicking herself for losing that sprint. That was she'd made a long effort in that sprint.
Yeah, I think just as she was, quite capable of closing the gap in that intermediate sprints competition to Dygert, she almost, just threw away those 2 points that she really needed. A little bit of inexperience, perhaps.
Yeah. Janelle Cole now going on the attack here for Lux. She was, again, a rider that I had down as a potential rider to watch for the sprint today. But Chloe Dygert not letting her go as well. Here she comes. Out of the attack, going on the attack now, coming up towards the Lux rider here, Janelle Cole. Chloe Dygert, as we said, she's looking to go 4 from 4 today. Can she do what we would probably call, can she do a Marianne Vos? It's the sort of thing we see Marianne Vos do all the time, isn't it? To go 4 from 4 in a race like this.
Yeah, I think you just look at the ease that Dygert makes it look, that she can come up to the wheel of the rider from Lux, and she sits up freewheels for a little bit, assesses the situation, and thinks, yeah, okay, I think this will be a good breakaway to pursue. Takes a look behind and sees the gap that she's opened up to that peloton. But with 12.6 miles to go, they're not going to want to do. She's almost done what she's done yesterday. And she's just, sort of, the peloton haven't reacted to her, which is very, very surprising. They know that they should know that this is what she was going to do.
So they've got a little VT here in the team car behind for Shoair.
In the car with the sports director, Mari Holden.
So just,
looks like.
Just having a chat with the riders. They've got radio communication, so you see the little earpiece as well that you see taped in. So the director sportif in the car behind is just chatting with the riders on the radios. So Mari Holden, you will if you're an American fan, you'll know Mari Holden really, really well.
Yeah, Olympic silver medalist in the time trial and the World Championships in 2000. So it was hampered by problems with the iliac artery, and eventually having it repaired in 2004, and went on to retire in 2007. But had a great career. 5-time US national champion in the time trial, and she won the USA national road race too. She also won the Queen of the Mountains jersey at the Giro Rosa in 2001. So really a standout rider, Mari Holden, the sports director of Shoair 2020. So when you look at her results and her background in cycling, there's no wonder Shoair 2020 perform the way they do, the way that she has got all the riders to become a team and really work together, and you can tell they're a solid unit. And especially you look at the way Chloe races, and also Jennifer Valente. Having someone with so much experience in the car really pays dividends.
For me as well, seeing Mari Holden, seeing Ina Yoko Teutenberg out there as well, Carmen Small, Rachel Hill, of course, is again very famous sports director. This is what we need for the future, isn't it? The sport directors like Mari Holden.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly coming through. I mean, you even look at Giorgia Bronzini retired at the end of last year and went straight into a sports director role with Trek Segafredo this year, and I think she's done a fantastic job. It's not easy to completely change your role, going from a rider then into sort of like managing riders and telling riders what to do. But these riders have so much experience that they can read a race. They can see what's happening, see how the race is unfolding. And give the tips. And I think sometimes actually, when you come straight out of racing, you're fresh. You know the riders. You know how the racing's been raced. Because racing does change over the years. The races back in the 90s or early 2000s might not be the same as they are now. But I think when you're still involved and you get to see how the racing unfolds, it's so key having someone who's been there and done that and knows what they're talking about. And riders can actually trust what they're saying is going to work, because I think that's the main thing, that trusting what your sports director says, and with the plan and making the plan and together. I mean, I know a lot of sports directors are quite keen on having riders put input into what the plan will be on the day, instead of just the sports director saying, this is what you're doing, do this, do that, do that. They're quite keen on getting feedback and saying, the riders talking between each other, and
yeah, because sometimes
because
sometimes people look and you see in other sports where what the manager or what the person that runs the team, the coach or whatever, what they say goes. But I mean, I always found, and you'll probably remember, I always found that whatever race that I went to as a director sportif, before, if it was a stage race, I went round and I sat down with every single rider and asked them what their objectives were, how they were doing, how they were feeling, if they'd had any injuries, if they had any illness, how they felt about the race, what they would personally like to get out of the race. Then took that, put it into a plan, and then put that, into place each day, deciding who your team leader was, taking, trying to get the team, if we had a particular sprinter and that kind of thing, and taking those tactics. And like you said, that as we said earlier on, the plan has to be fluid. So it's handing that responsibility to your riders. Attacks, counter-attacks coming here from Hagensberg and Supermint, but it's giving Rachel Langdon there as well. But it's giving your riders the confidence, isn't it, to be able to go, do you know what, that was the plan. And if you're the right type of sport director, you take the plan, you change the plan on the road amongst yourselves, because it's easy. It's like playing PlayStation in the car. I'm showing my age now, PlayStation, but it's about, you're not playing games in the car behind. It's allowing and empowering your riders to go, that's not working, this is the plan. If we change the plan, this is what we're going to do. We win the bike race. That's what you're wanting at the end of the day. And I always found that after a race, it was, okay, how did we do today? Did we take the plan? How did we change the plan? What did we do? What can we do differently? It's all about, teaching and empowering your riders, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's also making sure that all riders on the team are on the same page. You don't want any riders having alternative objects that actually they're not going to play the team game. They're going to kind of ride for themselves, and it's making sure that everyone is coming together with that common goal. And actually, sometimes on a team, it doesn't matter who wins as long as one of the team wins. And I think, remember one race that you were sports director for us, Marty, that it was making sure that everyone was on the same page, and that we had a backup plan if the race wasn't going how we wanted it to go. It was being able to be versatile and be able to change the plan on the road. And I think as riders, that's also what you need to learn, that despite what your sports director has told you before the race, it's being able to make that decision if it's not going to plan, or being able to go back to the car and say, this isn't working, what should we do now, or what about this, I think this might be a good idea. And having that communication, I think the communication within the peloton is vital. And I think as in this race, you have race radio, so it's very, very easy to be able to talk back to your sports director. You don't have to go back to the car. You can do it, remotely. You can speak to all your teammates, see how everyone's feeling, and it's just important.
Janelle Cole is probably, again, she'll be rubbing her hands together with glee and probably feeling the fear at the same time. But that was a perfectly timed move by Janelle Cole here from Lux. Now she's got the yellow jersey with her, so a great move by the rider from Lux to get up here, because again, in this situation for Janelle here from Lux, it's okay, if I'm going to go to the finish, I've got an opportunity here to really make a name for herself. She was a rider again that I picked out as a rider to watch even for the sprint today. So former national junior road race champion. She's been national champion on the track as well in the Madison. She's had three domestic victories from what I could find this year in sort of regional stuff as well. And again, it's what we've said throughout this race so far, as we said at the beginning of our program, if you weren't with us, it's the way the smaller teams, which is no disrespect to them, the domestic teams that as we've said, we're seeing for the first time, the way they've just stepped up. And you're looking at World Tour teams like Canyon SRAM, and all the time you can't ever go into a race thinking, oh, that's Canyon SRAM, I can't attack, or I'm not going to get away, I'm not going to beat them. You've got to go in and think, if I win this race, Show Air 2020 or Canyon SRAM going to offer me a contract next year.
Yeah, and I think it's you can't underestimate these small teams. Janelle Cole was a former teammate of Chloe Dygert back in 2016 when they rode on 2016 ride biker together. So actually they all know each other quite well. And she raced with United Healthcare for 2 seasons in 2017 and 2018, and now with Lux. But I think, she's in a great position. She got 9th yesterday on yesterday's stage, and I'm sure she would have been very, very happy with that. But actually, by being in this breakaway, this is fantastic for Janelle Cole and for a team. It's Canyon SRAM actually who now are on the towards the front with 3 riders, Ella Harris up there and Hannah Ludwig. Looks like Tiffany Cromwell up there too. Sensing the danger, because actually, you know, they should never have missed it. They are one of the most experienced teams in this race, and as soon as Chloe Dygert got to the front, they should have known that what her objectives would have been.
And this is when the sport director afterwards would say,
what was that?
What happened? She's quite easy to pick out in the bright yellow jersey and the bright pink shoes and bright pink gloves. Where were we when Chloe Dygert got off the front?
Yeah, I think if I was one of the riders, I mean, you know, you should always say, think to yourself, maybe have one rider who actually just patrols what Chloe does and stay with her. And when Chloe attacks, you attack. When Chloe sits at the back, sit at the back. Because you just know that at some point in the race, when Chloe makes a move, that is it.
Definitely. You can see 7.9 miles to go. Our leaders 25 seconds. Janelle Cole, Chloe Dygert. So Lux and Show Air 2020 are your teams off the front. The Bad Vegan over on YouTube just saying, the Lux rider shouldn't be taking any pulls. But then I've seen a few other comments as well. But if Janelle Cole doesn't work with Chloe Dygert here, Chloe Dygert's not going to ride with her. You know, you've got to, in this position as well. She's been in the team. She has been in this team before, as you said. United Healthcare. She's not an inexperienced rider, Janelle Cole. She's been you're not a national champion as a junior in the US on the track and on the road if you're not a class rider. She's got to invest in this breakaway. And
I think it's in her best interest. Of course, she wants to try and beat Chloe if they make it to the finish and they're not caught by the peloton. If she stops working with her, then Chloe's just going to, you know, have to counter-attack her and try and drop her. That's the only way for it. But I think, you know, it's in her best interest to carry on working with Chloe Dygert. She's showing she's strong enough. Not sure what that person was doing crossing the road, but luckily there's no problems. But yeah, it's in her best interest to work, and obviously she's showing her strength and class and what a talented bike rider she is, and she's capable of.
And you just see Oma Shapira on the front here in that green jersey. She's the rider there on the riding that green jersey. Janelle Cole, though, as we said, you look back through her results, you look where she's been as well as a rider, and sometimes you see riders all the time. We see it in the World Tour, you know, riders going from World Tour down to Pro Continental level to go back up again to find a contract. And this is the sort of ride that does that. You know, riding here with Chloe Dygert, the two of them, as we said, if you're a track, even a national champion on the road and on the track, she can sprint clearly. So it's about now, and she will know as well. Janelle Cole here as we go through it with 1 lap to go now. This time 40 seconds between this duo for the Lux Flex and Show and Show Air 2020. So they just, she will know. She will have the confidence as well. In this breakaway, she started the breakaway. Chloe Dygert, again, with no Janelle Cole here, thinking that's a good wheel to be on. I want to go 4 from 4. I want to be able to walk away from this race going, I won every stage. I won every jersey I could win. Rachel Langdon in the badass jersey now, that black jersey going on the attack here. So she's now trying to get away. It's a bit of a gap. She probably needed to counter a little bit earlier on here to try and get up to those two riders. But again, you want to win that badass jersey. She's been on the attack throughout this race. Definitely one of the riders of the race for me. Definitely as a British rider living, or a British, a Brit living in America, as we said, former soccer player, former footballer. I want to find out more about her now. She's on my radar.
Yeah,
we want to try and find out a little bit more about her.
Yeah, I think she's been fantastic. The way she's ridden. And the way she's picked her moments to attack, she's not wasted any energy in terms of just attacking and not actually getting anywhere. It's just that it's never paid off. But, you know, despite Canyon Stram leading the chase in the peloton, Rachel Langdon's been able to jump out the front of the peloton and try and make a move across to our leading duo. Is it too late, though? We've got 10 kilometres to go. But, you know, if she carries on the way she's going, you know, it's quite possible. I mean, if the peloton sit up and they're not willing to chase Langdon back, maybe she could hold on for a 3rd place if this duo stay away.
So our two leaders, Janelle Cole of Lux and Chloe Dygert, your overall leader in the yellow jersey from Show Air 2020. Little message, little WhatsApp from Magnus Backstedt. You probably know him. Won a few races, Paris-Roubaix, Tour de France, stage wins, Giro d'Italia, stage wins. Little message from Maggie. Getting his perspective. I'm sure you want to hear it. Just Maggie's just saying, interesting that no other team helping out. No Canyon rider is going back. More importantly, no Canyon rider is going back to ask the other teams to put a rider into work. 5 to 6 teams times one rider should be able to bring this back, because at the moment, again, you look at that peloton, and if you are tuning into cycling for the first time, you're new to this, you're wondering, okay, there's 2 riders here and there's 87 riders behind. How can that 87 rider group not just bring back these 2 riders? But if you've got 2 riders here and 1 rider behind again, it's speed and maths and numbers.
And especially when you've got 2 strong riders out front, that, you know, the ratio isn't in the favour of the peloton. But, you know, Canyon SRAM have got a very, very strong team here. They should actually be able to put on more than 1 rider on the front. You know, they've got Ella Harris, Hannah Ludwig. You know, I know that they'll be saving Tanya Era for the sprint with Tiffany Cromwell to lead her out. But they have got Shapira, who's up there in the overall classification in 3rd. You know, they might want to try and sacrifice her, because I'm quite sure that she's capable of being able to stay within the peloton to remain 3rd on the general classification. Langdon doing a great job there. We'll try and get a time gap on her, how far behind she is of our leading duo, and then the time gap from Langdon to the peloton as well, so we'll try and get that for you as soon as possible.
Yeah, we will. 40 seconds. Right, I've got to give a shout out over on the forum. That's what I'm loving about all your chat. As I said before, we had such a great community going on just our GCN Racing on Facebook for the last year and all through the cyclocross, and I'm loving how we're transferring that over to our YouTube channel as well now. Murray McCavey from New Zealand. Hi from New Zealand. I'm 76 years old. I'm still doing racing, loving the GCN Racing channel. Respect, Murray. Loving it. Still riding your bike at 76. I hope I'm still doing that. What an inspiration. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for checking in. 2 leaders, 5 miles to go. You can see 6.1 kilometers in towards the finish. We are our 2 leaders, with Rachel Langdon, the chaser, in between. Can Janelle Cole outwit Chloe Dygert? Can they hang on back to the front of the peloton? You see Canyon SRAM are on the front here. They tried to chase yesterday. Marco van den Hout over on the Facebook channel showing Canyon SRAM not chasing fast enough. Tibco could help as well. Yeah, they need to get involved. As Magnus just said, you need more than 1 team. And normally what happens here, Hannah, isn't it, is that you go back, you send a rider back down, and you say to Tibco, come on, you need to contribute. You say to the other teams there, come on, you need to contribute. There's a lot of chat that goes on. You have to get everyone kind of going and motivated to help in that chase.
Yeah, and you've got to make, you know, some alliances within the peloton, and it's in the best interest of, and otherwise, you know, we could be seeing the 4th stage victory going towards Show Air 2020 with Chloe Dygert once again. But, you know, it's in the best interest for Tibco to start chasing. You know, 7.3 kilometres to go. Hagens Berman Superman as well. Another team that could put a rider there for Lily Williams or even Whitney Allison. So it is very, very surprising that they're leaving it so late. And, you know, Canyon SRAM, they actually look to be tiring. There's only 2 of them up the front now. Tiff Cromwell doing a super job. Hannah Ludwig, sorry.
So a little observation from Dave Mike over on YouTube as well, saying Cole is peddling squares, which if you're interested is a term when you say that you're looking a little bit gassed. Janelle Cole, looking at her as well over the last few days, is kind of her style as well of riding. So sometimes, you know, everyone has a kind of deceptive riding style, and Janelle Cole, I've noticed her over the days here in the tour on the Colorado Classic, and this is her style. I don't discount her as well. She started this move. She's the one that's got up here with Chloe Dygert. They're working really nicely together. Watch the way this race comes in. I would say again, looking at this, don't discount Janelle Cole in this sprint. Yeah, Chloe Dygert is so dominant. She's looking to, you know, completely close out this race. 4 from 4. It's been an absolutely phenomenal ride. But as for us as fans as well, we have to believe, don't we? We've got to believe in Janelle Cole as well.
You can't, write off anyone just because they're with one of the strongest riders in the world right now. You know, you can never underestimate them and what they're capable of. They might take a, you know, surprise Dygert and be able to hold her off. You just never know. And like you were saying before, you're not a junior national champion for nothing if you're not good on a bike. The way she's riding it so far, you know, superb. She's the rider that, if you've just joined us, she was the rider who started this breakaway, and it was Dygert who was able to ride across to Cole.
So if you are just jumping in to our coverage, welcome to GCN Racing. You have two leaders. You have the Janelle Cole from Lux Flex and Show, and you have our yellow jersey in Chloe Dygert. Flavia Oliveira is the rider going off the front here for Fearless Femme. The Lux team, if you've not seen them before, so Lux Cycling, they're an elite under-19 development team aimed to educate and empower the top junior riders in the United States to succeed at the highest levels of competitive cycling and in life. They were created with one goal in mind: to unite and empower young cyclists with promise. This is Lux Flex and Schul's first year racing at the Colorado Classic, presented by the VF Corporation. If you're just tuning in, stage 4, we're in Denver here in the Colorado Classics, the Gates Corporation stage, and we're starting to get a little group just clipping off the front here, and Oliveira finally just dragging a group off the front.
Ella Harris there sitting behind Oliveira of Canyon SRAM, the 2018 Zwift Academy winner. A rider from Hagens Berman Superman and Showa 2020 made it across. If this was me now, you can see in the background there's a few attacks being thrown over. Tibco SVB missed it once again. But if I was there, you can see a Hagens Berman Superman rider up there, you know, try and disrupt the chase of that peloton and let the riders try and sort of get across and chase. But gap to Dygert and Cole now 50 seconds, 5.3 kilometers to go. I mean, it is doable if the peloton really do get their act together, and if this group work well together.
Indeed, so they've got it. So the gap now, you see the gap in the top corner of your picture, 50 seconds they're giving between Janelle Cole and Chloe Dygert. Just shows she can win on every circuit here in this one, potentially. She's trying to go all out in this one and take 4 stages, but Janelle Cole is looking to try and spoil the party here. The Lux rider on that Orbea bike. And you see Showa 2020, watching your equipment there on the felt bikes. And now
Dygert's
she goes.
making a move.
Oh, Chloe Dygert makes a move. Janelle Cole tries to react and was just shifting through the gears there.
Very secret attack there. Just whacked it down the block and attacked Cole. 4.5 kilometers to go. Cole just wasn't expecting that kind of reaction from Dygert at all, because they were working so well together. Caught napping, we could say, and Dygert's off.
Yeah, you would just say there was, again, Janelle Cole. She just swung off the front. She'd taken her turn, and yeah, she wouldn't have been expecting that one. They've been, as you said, they've been working really nicely together. And Chloe Dygert now deciding that she's going to try and go off on her own. Can Janelle Cole get back on here? That was a cruel attack, you've got to say there. I mean, respect to the way she'd ride. Look at this, though. The peloton behind, the pressure is just going off it. Omar Shapira is looking around at the riders to come through and do some work. Canyon SRAM are just saying, do you know, it's not all down to us. So, yeah.
It's like Lindsay Goldman, trying to get involved for Hagens Berman Superman. She's come to the fore now to try and chase this one back. But how's this going to affect the chase now? You know, obviously Cole and Dygert were working so well together. Now Dygert's attacked Cole. You know, if the peloton really, if they're going to want to catch Dygert, it's now or never. They need to get their act together, and all teams, you know, start putting riders in. As Megan has said earlier, it's this is the time for the chase. They've got 3.7 kilometers to go with a gap of 50 seconds. It's going to be touch and go.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tough one to bring back Chloe Dygert. The camera just pans down. The yellow jersey is on her own here. Janelle Cole really wasn't expecting that move by Chloe Dygert. And now on her own on this one. It doesn't look like the camera's in, but the gaps, it doesn't look like Janelle Cole is coming back. And again, maybe on this one, she didn't want to take Janelle Cole down to a sprint.
Maybe, you know, being former teammates, they actually know how fast Cole is in a sprint, so she wasn't confident that she could beat her in the sprint, in a 2-up sprint. You know, these riders, when they're racing each other sort of week in, week out, and been teammates and you know, current teammates, they know how each rider works and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Chloe Dygert obviously wasn't happy with the situation and maybe just wanted to try something, see what she could do, see if Cole could react to her, and obviously she couldn't.
Again, as you said, just caught napping a little bit, and Chloe Dygert riding off solo now. And again, coming back to a little bit of the chat a little bit earlier on between Chloe Dygert and moving up in teams. Looking at the way she rides here, maybe she needs to do that. You know, she needs to go up against more regularly Anna van der Breggen, Annemiek van Vleuten, because if you're this classy, if you're this good, you surely want to test yourself on the road against the best of the best of the best and see if you can still do this against van der Breggen, van Vleuten, the other riders out there, Marianne Vos.
I think it would be quite interesting to see Chloe come to European racing, because it is very, very different to US racing, with, you know, even just down to the style of the roads, as we were saying before. Much wider roads here in the US, and you know, maybe that's what her strength is, being able to being a time trialer. She's got so much power. These kind of roads suit her. So how would she fare in a narrow, you know, Belgian Spring Classic against the best like Chantal Black, Lizzie Deignan, and the likes? But I think it also depends on your race program, what your ambitions are, and your objectives, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I haven't seen the program for Worlds. Is she going to? I know she probably will go for the time trial. Will we see her in the road race potentially at the Worlds?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'd hope to see her there, especially with this form and the way she's been riding. It would be great to see her on in Yorkshire. It is a hard course, but you know, the way she's ridden this week on all terrains, don't see why not. She shouldn't be selected in the road race for the USA.
You'd put her in there, given this form. And again, I would love to see her go up against Lizzie Deignan, Marianne Vos, Anna van der Breggen in the World Championships. Again, Yorkshire, very different kind of climbs. It's a tough one. But here she comes in towards the finish. Janelle Cole, great chase those, just come round that corner. Chloe Dygert has a little look back over the shoulder. And it's 4 stage victories from 4 stages here in the Colorado Classic. Up towards the line. Has another look back just to make sure that Janelle Cole is not going to come up and snatch the stage from her. And you can hear the announcers are there, but it's a 4th stage win and the overall victory for Chloe Dygert. 2nd place for Janelle Cole, who would have been hoping to be able to battle that one out in a sprint finish. Chloe Dygert deciding she didn't want to take it down to a sprint with Cole. It's Rachel Langdon on the front in that black jersey. So coming through, leading out this sprint here for Fearless Femme. Brodie Chapman in that orange jersey. And Langdon lining it up here, looking good. And we're looking for the likes of Emma White as well to come through for the sprint finish. What a race. And just leading out the Rally UHC team come across the line, but no one had an answer again for Chloe Dygert today. Looks like Emma White comes across the line, takes the bunch sprint in that one. So what a win. What a stage race. 4 stage victories. That's no mean feat.
Yeah, absolutely dominant by Chloe Dygert, and absolutely incredible. Showing her form and her class, and team manager there, Nicola Cranmer, just walking past her. She'll be very, very happy with that one. Hannah Ludwig comes straight over and congratulates Chloe Dygert. Just incredible. I think the way that she's won every stage, it's been completely different from the other. Yesterday, obviously won solo. Today, attack Cole, you know, with a couple of kilometres to go, and just brilliant. Congratulations from Erath there of Canyon SRAM as well.
Yeah, phenomenal ride from the Show Air 2020 rider. Thanks for all your input over on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget, give us a like if you can as well on there. If you liked our broadcast today, give us a like. Don't forget, subscribe to GCN Racing. You'll be notified whenever we upload a new video to the channel. We've got daily highlights of the Vuelta in multi-languages, and also more live racing to come next week. We've got the Deutschland Tour, and we also have GP Plouay and GP Bretagne next weekend as well. And don't forget as well, all of these races are available on demand afterwards. You can go back if you need some company when you're on your home trainer and you want to check in. Then you can do that as well. They're all available on demand. It's been a long day here of commentary.
Making up words
today.
here, Marty.
I know, honestly, I'm kind of making up language at the end of the day sometimes. We had the ladies tour of Norway a little bit on and on. If you didn't see that one, you can go back and check that one out as well. It's nearly it's just before 11 p.m. here. Where we're based in the UK, so yeah, it's been a long day and many espressos as well. You know how your words get mixed up after when you've had 15 espressos in a day. It's hey ho. Great shot here of Denver. And Chloe Dygert, again, what a race from the Show Air 2020 rider. Again, it took a while for the peloton to realise they'd gone, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just there was no immediate reaction from them. 22-year-old Chloe Dygert jumped across to Janelle Cole, and the duo worked just really, really well together. And I was surprised to see Dygert make the move that she did. But, obviously maybe wasn't confident that she could beat Cole in the sprint. And wanted to, felt more confident being out there solo, and knew she had that time trial priority. She just gives a little wave to the crowds. We've had some great crowds on the finishes here on each stage of the Colorado Classic.
Just making her way down towards the podium, and this is the moment you want. Again, it's not often you see a rider be able to take all 4 stages on 4 completely different courses. As you said, we had the gravel climb on the first day. We had the big we had almost a city circuit like this, then a big climb on the second day. It is quite incredible.
Yeah, and it's quite unheard of. She's just got to be so dominant, and she, like we were saying before, she's got complete control over the peloton. The fact that no one is watching her, sort of 24/7, and it's just a moment of lack of concentration. Dygert's gone, and that's it. It's so hard to bring a rider like Chloe back. As we've seen, Canyon SRAM were chasing so hard, and then Hagels Berman's Superman come in, they're chasing hard, and then Tivco SVB come in towards the end, and despite all those teams chasing, not able to close down on the stronger USA rider from Show Air 2020.
But also, you have to put into perspective that while she's out there and she looks like she's cruising, she's not. The amount of effort that it takes to ride like this, the preparation that goes into that. This is the stage so far. Nothing really got away earlier on, but she makes it when you're out there and you're watching it, she almost makes it look easy, but it's not. It's not by any means, is it?
She just makes it. She does make it look effortless and seamless, and it's just down to all the training that she's doing on the bike, the training in the gym, all the work that she's doing on the track, all the hard work and sort of. I don't want to use the word sacrifices because I think. It's something that she wants to do, but the things that you have to maybe give up or not do it. It's not going out with on nights out. It's making the most of your recovery, and that's what it takes to be a professional bike rider. But she does almost toy with this peloton, and the way that she's ridden this week, and she's just a class above the rest.
She is indeed, and. This was our bonus cash lap sprint. So again, the 50% to the rider, 50% to the charity. And Jennifer Valente taking that. Show Air 2020. What a race they have had this one, and then we'll see the replays of when they went. This was the sprint. Brodie Chapman looked over her left shoulder, and Chloe Dygert came through on the right to take that one. And again, as we always say, oh, there you go. Sprint through the line is page 2 of the coaching manual, as we always say.
Something that you should learn from the start of your racing career.
Yeah, Janelle Cole, what a ride. She started the move. Chloe Dygert decided that she wanted to get up there as well. And this is where she went. And Cole just wasn't expecting it. And Dygert went, and Cole couldn't react quick enough. But she held on a good ride for second place. It was, again, complete surprise. Janelle Cole looked at that. You could tell from that move she thought these two were going to work together in towards the finish. Again, that's what the tactics book usually says.
I think as well, though, it's been a great ride by Janelle Cole, and as we were saying before, this could be the ride that actually propels her back into a UCI professional team, having been with what was 2016, now 2020, and then she was with United Healthcare for 2 years. A ride like today actually could show teams what Janelle Cole's capable of and propel her back into the pro peloton. Great that Dygert's going saying hello to all the fans and high-fiving all the youngsters. I think that's brilliant, really inspiring the next generation of talent to come through.
Yeah, exactly that. And again, that's the legacy of these events, is all these young girls that are out there. It's having those role models like Chloe Dygert. It's having, whatever sport it is. It's when I grow up, I want to be like Chloe Dygert. That's what you need.
And I think it's, cycling, as we all know, it's a very, very accessible sport. You've just seen the winner of the overall Colorado Classic, 4-time stage winner. She's, silver medalist at the Olympics, I think she's 7 times world champion. And she's just come over to you, giving you a high five, said hello to you. And I think it is that gives you the motivation and the inspiration to think that's what I want to do when I'm older. And cycling's basically a moving circus, isn't it? You're just inspiring people all over the world, and even with the team buses and the vans, it's so easy to go up and get your autograph and have your photo taken, get a selfie, and see your heroes. And it's not like in other sports where you're in a stadium and it's kind of a closed off section that you're never going to be able to brush shoulders with, likes of David Beckham or Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, that's the thing we always say. Cycling's the biggest free sports spectacle in the world. We, beyond when you go to the track or you go to, European cyclocross, it's free. We bring the racing to you. We bring the sport to you. I always say it's a bit like, the Manchester United and Barcelona pitching up in your local park and playing a match, and you've been able to stand there and meet everyone. That's what cycling is. As you said, you've got the team buses, you've got all the cars. They all park, and all, when race organisers put something like this together, you put it together, and you put it together with that in mind. Where are the team cars and team buses going to come after the stage to allow the fans to go and meet the riders? And that as well as a former pro, meeting your public, meeting your team fans, that's what you expect to do. And women's pro cycling as well, we've got such huge great personalities in women's pro cycling that now we're getting to see this. That's what we want to get out there.
Yeah, and it's also your opportunity. A lot of teams now have rider autograph cards, so go and get those the pictures that get your heroes to sign them. And sometimes other teams have different types of memorabilia. So I remember I've seen teams before where they've had little jerseys, but it's a bottle opener and stuff like that. Stuff like go and meeting the team and getting, maybe even if you want to get some advice from them, ask one of the riders. I want to be a rider like you when I'm older. Have you got any tips for me? What should I be looking to do, or how can I be better? Is there anything that I can do to learn or study to be a better bike rider and learn tactics within a race? It's just so accessible, and I think it really is fantastic. And like you say, it's all free. And
as a youngster as well, getting that water bottle, getting that signed cap or something like that. That again, that's what you take home. You take that water bottle to school.
Yeah, and you're so proud about it. It's I remember when I first started cycling, you was at the sides of the road of the Tour of Britain, and riders threw a bottle, you took it in, and it's such a proud moment that you're thinking, oh, look at me. And people don't actually understand that if they're not into cycling, but as a cyclist, you're so proud.
Chloe Dygert takes the stage from Janelle Cole, Emma White, Tanya Erath and Lauren Stevens. That was your order across the line. So Tanya Erath getting in there for Canyon SRAM. Lauren Stevens from Tibco, Silicon Valley Bank, Emma White from Rally UHC. Again, I was surprised to see Rally UHC not on the front and help. If you've got a sprinter like Emma White in there, why would the whole of Rally UHC not on the front trying to pull back that breakaway as soon as it went?
Yeah, and I think when you've got the strength of Abby Mickey and Krista Dobel-Hickok, that you've got someone like Emma White who you're riding for, and she could have won that stage. Obviously, she won the bunch sprint, so should Dygert and Cole not have been away, could have had a stage victory there. But it's all about you've got to plan and communicate with your team and communicate what the plan is and say this is what we need to do. And it sometimes actually takes a road captain, a leader on the road to say, come on girls, this is what we're doing. We need to put riders on the front. We need to close this down. Emma could win today. Let's go for it and make that sacrifice and go all eggs in one basket.
Just having an interview here with Chloe Dygert. I don't know if we're getting the audio on it.
Together, and it's just a blast to be with them all, and it's a great weekend of racing, and I'm just happy to be here with them.
With 2 laps to go, there was the final intermediate sprint of the race. It looked like you went for it and you led out Jennifer Valente, fighting for those points and capitalized on what was a splintered peloton.
Yeah, going into that lap, I kind of forgot that there was a sprint there, but I saw Brody going for it, and then I remembered, and then again, I had a gap. I went with it, but then it got brought back, and then Janelle had an awesome attack, and nobody went with that, and I just decided, let's just try it. Need to get, just go for it. So I went it, and we were able to stay away, and then I was able to attack her again in the last lap.
It looked like you attacked with 4K to go. I mean, that seems to be your distance, whether it's on the road or on the track. Could you close your eyes and bring it home for the win?
I wish, but it was a bumpy day out there today. But yeah, I definitely couldn't do without these girls. So I'm just, really thankful for them.
Congratulations, Colorado. An incredible performance by you and your entire team. Congratulations, ladies.
Winner there. So yeah. I'll just take a little question as we wait for more podiums and things. Toby Conqueso saying class is class. Again, I'll read your comment because I completely agree. Class is class. It's never easy at the highest level, but Chloe would do fine against the Euros. 5 times elite world track champion, 2 times world junior champion on the road and time trial. Yes, we've been talking about her achievements as well. The real question is how would the Euros fare against Chloe? Exactly. All we were saying on the run in there was we want to see Chloe Dygert go up against the best in the world. There was nothing there, that was,
untoward,
that we looking at her in this and how dominant she is here. Yeah, I completely agree. She does race against the big, European teams, and she does. And it's when you see someone so dominant in a home race like this, all we're saying there is, we would love to see. Yeah, I'd love to see her go and win the Worlds. That would be great. If you take Chloe Dygert now and go and win the rainbow jersey in Yorkshire in the road race, they would. This race has been going out around the world. A lot of the teams would look. They'd come into that race and think, we actually need to watch Chloe Dygert in this one.
Yeah, I do think, especially in the time trial, we are going to have a showdown between Chloe and Annemiek van Vleuten. And it's just, if she decides that she wants to do the road race and I think that her capabilities and the way she's ridden this week, it definitely lends itself to that she's going to do well on the course in Yorkshire. Like you said before, Marty, it is different type of racing. It's different roads as well. The climbs are very hard. I've seen and raced on some of them myself, and I know they are very, very hard, and the roads in the UK are very grippy. But yeah, I think it's doable. It's just, the racing in Europe is just very, very different to how it is in the US. But definitely have no doubt that she could challenge them.
Everyone milling around at the end of the stage today. See if they stay for the podium presentation. They'll just be getting ready for that one. So thanks, as we said, this
Incredible.
is
gutsy ride for Lux Flex Central. You were here racing last year, and I think when we spoke last year, you weren't sure, maybe didn't even know that you would be back here to race the Colorado, and you were in what turned out to be the winning move. That's got to be feel good.
It's incredible. I don't really have very many eloquent words to share, but yes, I'm excited. I'm so grateful to my team Lux for getting me here. It was just like a last minute thing, and they've supported me all year at the big stage races at Redlands and Gila as well, and it feels incredible to bring this home for them.
We were watching you on the live feed, and we saw you continue to trade pulls with Chloe. You know what kind of competitor she is. You must have been thinking that you had to do everything that you could for a stage win, but you looked really strong. What was going through your head as you got closer and closer to the finish line?
Help. Just, you know, I wanted to hang on her as long as possible. Everyone knows who she is, and I knew that if I could hang on just a little bit longer, I was guaranteed a podium, and I could contest it at the end.
It was a gutsy and strong and hard-fought race. Congratulations on today's stage, second place on the final stage of the Colorado Classic.
Janelle Cole from Lux. Good to see her. Gutsy move, started it, and like she said, what was going through your mind? Help. Yeah.
I think, as she said, you know, as long as she, even when Chloe attacked her, that if she just carried on her effort and, you know, sort of make her way to the finish, she did have a 50-second gap on that peloton. You know, she could hang on for a second place, and, you know, she's absolutely thrilled with that result, and then so she should be. She had a great race today, and she was, like you say, right who started that breakaway. Great for her team as well as a maybe one of the underdogs, we could say.
Definitely. So good to see a team like Lux getting out there on that final stage, battling for that stage victory. And in the end, not to be, Chloe Dygert jumping away. And, we can hear the announcer on the stage. It doesn't sound like we are far away now from the podium presentation.
The Front Ranger Cycling Club is a youth cycling club from all socio-economic backgrounds. So welcome our Front Rangers.
Some of those local cycling clubs up here to help present the prizes. And again, that's a special moment, isn't it, as a youngster getting and junior cycling clubs getting on the podiums to help present the prizes.
Yeah, it's so, as we were saying before, it's so inspirational to see your heroes and the riders that you look up to be able to present them with the prizes and feel what it's like to be in that position.
Chloe Dygert, Owen, your winner overall of the Colorado Classic, that yellow jersey with that stage victory. The Front Rangers Cycling Club presenting the prizes. Local team, good to see them up there. But what a rider, what a race. 4 days, 4 victories here in the Colorado Classic. A class act. So they're going to go to the sprints jersey next.
Our first back sprint leaders jersey winner. Of course, it's the American for Showwear 2020, Chloe Dygert.
So one jersey off, another one back on. So the orange jersey as the winner of the sprints classification. Brody Chapman was wearing that today, but Chloe Dygert again extends that lead in that classification. So we'll move on to our other jerseys, I am sure. There you have it, Chloe Dygert, own of Showwear 2020. Great team ride by them, leading out Jennifer Valenti as well for that big money sprint. Moving on to the Queen of the Mountains jersey. That will be our next one that's presented. Colorado Tourism Queen of the Mountains. So she's had the Gates Corporation yellow jersey. She's had the First Bank Sprint Leaders jersey. Now moving on to the Colorado Tourism Queen of the Mountains.
Nice job, guys. Sydney, Jeremy, and Matt Scott up on the stage with our champion of our Colorado Tourism Office Queen of the Mountain jersey.
So we'll see how our other jerseys are. They hopefully they'll present them as well. We also have the VF Corporation Best Young Riders jersey, which is a green jersey, which Omar Shapiro was wearing today. So if you're new to cycling in terms of the jerseys, if one rider like Chloe Dygert is leading in every classification, it then passes down to the next rider on the list.
That's Young Riders jersey. And again, it's the American Rochelle Air 2020. Let's give Chloe Dygert on a
There she is. The best young rider in the race as well. The green jersey, the VF Corporation green jersey. The best young rider. She won overall. She also wins in that classification as well.
thank you, Anita Grant.
So a big roar for Chloe Dygert, and well deserved.
We'll give Chloe a short break here now.
So we're going to go on to the black jersey, the VF Corporation.
It's our VF Corporation most badass rider. No doubt about it.
I definitely can't compete with a Dave Toll on the announcement there in the badass jersey, can I? There he is. And there she is, your winner of the VF Corporation badass jersey, and it's Flavia Oliveira, Fearless Femme. She has been one of the most aggressive riders in this race, along with her teammate Rachel Langdon, who was wearing that jersey today. So a well-deserved victory in that jersey. Gets to wear that on the final day.
Now lives in Golden, Colorado. And boy, did we find the right woman for that jersey.
And we're going to go on to the Audi Most Inspirational Rider jersey.
What an inspirational group of athletes we have here. And I now would like to bring up a woman who competed in the Athens Olympics in 2004 at 52.
So sounds like Edwig Patel is going to get the Audi Most Inspirational Riders jersey, and I think that is a pretty deserved one, eh, Hannah?
Yeah, I think the way she raced today, and certainly very well deserved. We were speaking about it yesterday, that, you know, it's not just about the racing, it's all the commitment to the training to be at this top level. At 52 years of age, I think incredible, and it is inspiring, and it shows that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you know, where you come from, you know, it's what your background is, you can do this, and it's just showing to these young children who are at the sides of the road, you know, anyone can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Girl or boy.
Yeah. So the Kogas Metler rider, as we say, and I know, I'm sure she doesn't mind us repeating her age, 52. You didn't hear that one. To the Audi Most Inspirational Riders jersey. I think that is a really, really good call on that one. Edwig Patel, as they heard, you heard Dave Toll, the announcer there, saying competed in the 2004 Athens Olympics, and the French rider, former national champion as well. And there she is, well-deserved winner of that award.
You are my hero.
As Dave Toll said there, Edwig Patel, you're my hero. There you have it. I love that. I love these other jerseys. Do you like these other jerseys?
I think it's brilliant to have these other jerseys. You know, it's quite often that you have a most competitive, most aggressive award, but sometimes you don't get a jersey for it. And I think to have like your inspirational jersey, your badass jersey, I think it's it's great. And I think could be multiple riders that could have been awarded that jerseys and those 2 jerseys today.
I'm going to campaign to get the badass jersey introduced over here as well. The next race that I'm involved with. There you have it. Here you go. There's all your jerseys, Chloe Dygert. All 4 of those. So the best young rider, the overall winner, the sprints winner, and the Queen of the Mountains. And we're going to have Flavia Oliveira from Fearless Femme, the Brazilian rider, now living in Colorado. And Edwidge Patel from Kogas Metal Out. Otherwise, Chloe Dygert would be getting pretty lonely up there on the podium on her own.
She would, wouldn't she?
So there you have it. What a race. What a rider. And the 2 ladies alongside her, Flavia Oliveira and Edwidge Patel, 2 very well-deserved winners. Thanks to the Bad Vegan over on YouTube as well. I'm going to get those T-shirts made up.
Oh, very kind.
There you have it. 4 days, 4 victories. Chloe Dygert. What a ride. I think we're running out of superlatives, aren't we, really?
I think we are. She's just been so dominant, being able to take all the stages, all the jerseys. And I think, to be honest, she could actually have been awarded the badass jersey and the most inspirational jersey as well. But I think, that would be a little bit greedy. But she really could. The way she's rode this week, I mean, it is... yeah, it's just incredible and so inspiring. And just to see her firepower, that, as soon as she gets on that attack, there's no coming back. Even, a whole team of Canyon can't bring her back. And, yeah, I just think kudos to her. I think it's brilliant to see her come back from injury as well. It's just, yeah, good on you. Good on you, Chloe.
And hats off to Janelle Cole as well. Got it for Lux, gutsy ride by her. She started that move.
Yeah, I'm really happy that she was able to hang on for second. Yeah, she didn't maybe take it to the bunch sprint, the 2-up sprint that she might have wanted to do with Chloe, but I think for her, she was, very, very proud to take second nonetheless. And, it's a great result to take second place behind Chloe. I mean, still incredible ride.
It was indeed. So thank you for all your input over on Facebook and on YouTube. It's been a great 4 days. Thanks for tuning in from Hannah Walker and me, Martin McDonald. See you soon. Bye for now.